charge, so we had to win with an open door. Guess we lucked out. Do you copy that? And you'd rather be in the combat arena, combat. I like us to stay, but we're always in a combat arena, combat. We fight to the death, yet it ends up in bed. I'll raise up my shield and then you take out your soul. You say the truth, you say it was called for us to be together, but you tell me that 'cause we're in love. Wheels up on a golf ball and it say that Neil is getting all so crazy. I'm safe to say I'm Neil, 'cause I'm losing my mind. So I looked out. Oh, I guess it's me. I'd rather be in the combat arena, combat. But I'd like us to stay, but we're always in a combat arena, combat. We fight to the death, yet it ends up in bed. I raise up my shit and then you take out your soul. You say the truth, you say it was called for us to be together, but you don't mean it 'cause we're in love.
On second thought, we made quite a team, you know? Maybe we can work it out. You have your differences.
That's enough Quentin, I think. That's enough Quentin for today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. Another day, another dawn, and hopefully another lovely, lovely game of football in the Premier League for today. That's what we're hoping for, at least. That is what we are hoping for. Should be a good game today. We've got Norwich versus Newcastle, a game which a few months ago was pretty much the relegation scrap between two sides that didn't look like they were really going anywhere. Now, Newcastle United find themselves looking for a top half finish, and Norwich still a little distance away, really, a little distance away from the bottom of the, well, I say the bottom of the relegation zone. The top of the relegation zone is what I meant, as I'm just glancing my eyes across the Arsenal-Manchester United score. Not good for Manchester United. 10 losses so far this season for United, not where you'd expect them to be. But Norwich look pretty much down and out, don't they, at the moment? Norwich do, but how many games have we got left to play? 6 games left to play, and they find themselves, if I can do the maths quickly, in fact, let me share my screen so you guys can see it as well. Let's have a look. Window capture, that's what I need. And then scroll down, here we go. So you guys can see, here we go. So, Norwich, they find themselves on 21 points. Obviously, they will need to overtake somehow either Everton or Leeds, or both, if they want to find their way out of the bottom of the relegation zone. They need to move themselves onwards and upwards. Today could present an opportunity for them to get themselves a couple of points, and a big opportunity for them to really push forward, and this could be an excellent opportunity for that. So as you can see, it is Norwich versus Newcastle. Newcastle currently sit in 11th. What have Newcastle got to play for, I hear you cry? Well, if you don't know, you should know. If you don't know, but the top, basically from 7th to 17th, you wonder, oh, there's not really too much to play for. You know, those European spots, they're all taken. You're not getting relegated. What is there to play for? But it depends on how the money is split. So for Newcastle, who obviously don't necessarily need the money, but would like to say that, you know, Leicester on 41 points there, in reach. And if they can say this season they finished 9th after going 14 games without a win, imagine how mental that would be. Imagine, that would be absolutely fantastic for Newcastle United. So, whilst there might not be a lot to play for Newcastle or for Norwich, well, more so Newcastle, in terms of they're not getting relegated, but they won't find themselves in a European spot. there is a lot of to play for in terms of incentive and in terms of to say, actually, what a great second half to the season we have had. They found themselves on 40 points, which is usually the bar for relegation candidates to see where they are going to get relegated from. And that should be enough. And if we looking earlier, as you can see, this was the score earlier on with Bukayo Saka, Granit Xhaka, and Bukayo Saka, Granit Xhaka. If I can get me, words together, Bukayo Saka, Granit Xhaka, and Nuno Tavares all scoring for Arsenal, and Cristiano Ronaldo bagging his 100th goal of the Premier League, his Premier League era. So mental stuff, and as you can see, United now find themselves almost looking down the barrel of West Ham. West Ham with a game in hand on them. Doesn't look like they're going to be getting Champions League football, and it looks highly unlikely at the moment that they'll even get Europa Conference League football. And that begs the question, how many of these players and how much of a difficult task is Erik Ten Hag going to have to bring the best out of these players and mould them? But who knows, next season without European football to disrupt the flow of the Premier League, maybe United might be able to benefit from that. We've seen it many an occasion, haven't we? That being said, that's enough talk about Arsenal and Manchester United. I can't believe Arsenal have come good in the last 2 games. You'd have been worried being an Arsenal fan, facing Chelsea and then United, but they have done the job, and here we are. This is the team we're bothered about for today: Norwich City and Newcastle United. Norwich City and Newcastle United. As you can see, these are the 2 teams for today, and I just got really hot then. I got really hot and flustered. But as you can see, these are the 2 teams for today. We'll start off with the home side, of course, the game being played at Carrow Road for today. We'll be kicking off in about 20 minutes or so. So if you are watching, get your score prediction in the chat for us. That would be absolutely excellent. So as we look at it here, we have Tim Krul in goal. Interested to see how this formation will line up under Dean Smith. He's been quite useful in a sense to try and move a lot of players around and use quite a few different formations at the moment to try and get the best out of this Norwich side to see how it blends the best. And today it looks like they're going for a 4-2-3-1, and that will be with Sam Byram at right back, Grant Hanley, Christopher Zimmerman, and Giannoulis at left back as well. Afternoon, Oliver, how are we doing? And of course Cameron, who was in earlier on as well. Good afternoon to you as well. And I think, I keep saying this every time I watch Norwich City, the player that I'm always most impressed with, of course, Teemu Pukki, who starts up from today, takes the limelight because he's the man who scores the goals and does the business on occasion after occasion for Norwich City. But the man I'm always impressed with, and of course there is some degree of the fact that he is the captain and he has to take the reins and he has to take responsibility. But Grant Hanley, for me, this season has been really, really good. And look, you can see that rating there, 7, equal to Dan Burn. And Dan Burn's had a wicked season as well. And I'm not saying that he's been groundbreaking or he's been Ruben Diaz or he's been Virgil van Dijk or Antonio Rudiger. But Grant Hanley, I think, is very unlucky with the fact that he's in a team that has to do a lot of defending, and he does it well, he does it ever so well, but he's maybe not flattered by the players that are around him. And I'll be excited to see what he can do against Joelinton or any of those other players that are in and around that area today. It'll be interesting to see, as you can see on the screen there, Joelinton looks like he's starting up front for Newcastle United, so it'll be interesting to see if he does, or whether Jacob Murphy, or whether there's a bit of movement with Joe Willock going out wide, Jacob Murphy through the middle, Joelinton in central midfield. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Bruno's Arsenal's 12th man. I have seen he's missed a penalty. Very unlike Bruno Fernandes. Then the 2 defensive midfielders for Norwich City is Matthias Norman and Kenny McLean as well. Off the left-hand side, former Werder Bremen winger Milot Rashica, Pierre Lise-Malou, who obviously joined, was it last summer? From the French League, and Kieran Dowell off the right-hand side. And then, of course, the man who needs no introduction in this Norwich City team, Teemu Pukki. How fantastic is he when he wants to be? He is definitely a player that that needs to be watched today for Newcastle United. They might be in the better of the form, but they still need to keep it nice, calm, and composed, and make sure that Timu Pukki, make sure he doesn't get the opportunities, because all he needs is a half chance, isn't it, Timu Pukki? All he needs is a half chance. And then, as you can see, starting off in goal, Martin Dubravka for Newcastle. Looks like it might be quite a straightforward day for Martin Dubravka, but against Norwich City, you saw, didn't you, right at, was it about January time, Norwich and Newcastle both got new managers. Eddie Howe started a lot slower than Dean Smith. Whether that's because Eddie Howe had been out of a job a little while longer, we don't know. There was just a little bit of a change in that sense. And as you can see, Martin Dubravka starting in goal. So they just need to make sure that they keep switched on at all times here, at all times. Then at left back is Matt Targett, the January transfer with Dan Burn as well. So we've got two January transfers on the left-hand side of this defence, and then Jamal Lascelles, the captain, and Emil Kraft from right back. Speaking of January transfers, we then also have Bruno Grameres starting in right centre defensive midfield. He's already got himself a couple of goals, I think 3 goals so far in his Newcastle United career, has hit the ground running. Newcastle fans will hope he can keep that up until at least the end of the season, and then beyond as well. 24 years of age, we could be looking at, who knows, maybe the David Silva of their rebuild and their takeover. Then Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock complete the midfield. Joe Willock, of course, joined last year, maybe hasn't quite reached the level that we would have anticipated. And then, like I say, I am intrigued, and afternoon to Fraser as well, who's going to go get some headphones. No worries, Fraser. Thank you for stopping by, dude. Really do appreciate it. And then, as you can see, what was I going to say? I know what I was going to say. I was going to talk about Joe Willock, wasn't I? I'll be intrigued to see how this front four, or the more attacking 4 players, which are Alan St. Maximan, Joe Willock, Joelinton and Jacob Murphy, all play in this game. Whether Joelinton will resume his position as a striker. We know how good he's been as a central midfielder so far this season, as a bit of a box-to-box. He's powerful, he's strong, and he's very good on the ball in that position. He's just not the clinical eye that they maybe would have anticipated him being when they signed. So it's a really, really strange one. Interested to see how this will work out for Eddie Howe today. Of course, is Chris Wood injured? That has just come to my head there. No, he isn't. So he is on the bench for today. Of course, no Callum Wilson. But after a good performance in midweek, was it against Leicester? I'm trying to rack my brain now. I am really trying to rack my brain now. Let's have a scroll down. Crystal Palace it was, and they've also had Leicester as well. Miggy Almiron scored a great goal last week. Sorry to bring that one up, Oliver. Right, I'm going to be in here at all the stream because your commentary is fire. Thank you, Fraser. I really do appreciate that. I really do. But what I was going to say was Miggy Almiron scored a worldie in the last week, and I'm very surprised he hasn't retained his spot. John Joe Shelvey and Chris Wood as well. Maybe just a bit of rotation here. Maybe Eddie Howe feels that he can change his team a little bit, just because it is Newcastle. It is Norwich City, that they are playing today. Maybe he thinks that he can downgrade his tools just slightly and still get the result that is needed. So that might be why a few of these changes have come in. John Joe Shelvey has been very much a staple player in this side since the takeover and has performed well, like we would expect with John Joe Shelvey. There's no doubt there is a very talented footballer in there. It just maybe became a little bit redundant over the last few seasons. Of course, when he was at Liverpool, not so much, but more so at Swansea, he was a phenomenal player. I wonder how Mark Goldbridge handled the 3-1 Arsenal. I know. It must be really difficult times to be a Manchester United fan. Like, believe me, it's been hard to be a Chelsea fan at times as well this season. So, very, very difficult one. And This United will be hoping for, most certainly will be hoping for a better result today. Make sure you get your score predictions in for us, ladies and gents. Get the score predictions in. Now that you've seen the teams, which way are you swinging? Are you still going to be back in Newcastle like you would, looking at the league standings? Or do you think that Norwich City can maybe get themselves a cheeky result? That is my question. That is most certainly my question. And I do think Eddie Howe's downgraded tools for this game in order to save a few legs, having had a pretty busy schedule just generally anyway, Newcastle at the moment, with a game in midweek and a game last weekend as well. It was hard being a Liverpool fan last year. I can't remember what you did last year. Fraser says he's going with a 1-1 draw as well, which doesn't fill me with too much confidence. At all. Let's just have a look at the games which they come into this with. Of course, Norwich City, actually, I totally forgot about this. Their last game was that 3-2 loss against Manchester United, where they performed well in patches. They definitely showed that they could do it. But it was just not enough. And of course, when you come up against the great man that is Cristiano Ronaldo, then there's always going to be a few problems. And they were simply outclassed by one player that day. There was a couple of mistakes as well from Norwich City, which led to their own demise, really, and that could have been a massive point, or even 3 points that Norwich City could have picked up there, and really would have put pressure on the likes of Burnley and Everton, and maybe even Leeds, just because they're the next team up. And although that being said, I think we can guarantee Watford going down. I think we can guarantee Norwich going down as well. But you can see over the last 3 games, a 3-2 loss against Manchester United, a 2-0 win against Burnley, and a 0-0 draw against Norwich City. They're not far off. I feel like I said this about Sheffield United all last season. Was it last season Sheffield got relegated? I think it was. That they weren't far off, and I don't think Norwich are far off either this season. It's just not been the best. Against the big sides, obviously, as you can see there. They are definitely a little further distance. Oliver's gone with 2-0 to Newcastle, and that sounds like a decent prediction. I do wonder what this score could be. And as you can see, looking at these results from Newcastle United, they've been very impressive over the last few games. Maybe a little bit of a wobble following that Chelsea defeat. Maybe just took the wind out of their sails, especially when they should have probably had a penalty. A lot of people questioning, should Kai Havertz have been sent off? I personally don't think so. I don't think he saw the man coming towards him. He's not intentionally hit him with his elbow. He's just jumped up, as people do. But they definitely should have had a penalty. So interesting that that sort of seemed to take the wind out of their sails, and then that really long game between Everton and Newcastle, which had like 12 minutes of added time because someone thingied their neck to a goalpost over oil, which was stupid. But you win some, you lose some, don't you? And even Everton there, with a man sent off, managed to beat them, and then a really, really poor performance against Tottenham. But since then, they look like they found their feet a little bit again with beats against Wolves, with wins against Wolves, Leicester, and Crystal Palace as well. So they look like they found a little bit of form. They just need to iron out maybe a few of those inconsistencies, a few of those worries that they might have had against Tottenham Hotspur. I keep nearly saying Newcastle for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe Newcastle are just stuck in my head at the moment. But yeah, they just need to iron out a few of those inconsistencies. This is a real sighter for Newcastle of where they are going to be come the end of the season. If they end up, and it's actually, they find themselves level at the end of the game, drawing 1-1, then there's got to be questions asked about this Newcastle team. How far have they actually progressed? Because it's all well and good going to Wolves, Leicester and Crystal Palace, teams around you, and taking points. But these are the big games. These are the games you should win. Newcastle should win this game. And if they don't, then that's when the questions start to be asked of them. And Fraser going with his 1-1. He feels it should be a 1-1 for today. Right then, ladies and gents, right then. Let me get my score prediction in, and I've just realised I have Chelsea behind me, so let's swap to our Newcastle background for a game. We don't want to be talking about Chelsea for today, if I can find it. That is the question. That's an even better question, really. Is it under info labels? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. There it is. If I do that. There we are. Perfecto. Now I've got Newcastle behind me. I'm in an England top, but a Euro 2020 England top. But we're in white and black pretty much. So we'll be keeping a close eye on Newcastle United. We will most certainly be keeping a close eye on Newcastle United for today's game. As you can see, scrolling across the bottom, those are the other games that will be taking place as well at 3 o'clock. Leicester City and Aston Villa face off, and Manchester City and Watford as well, with the late kickoff being Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur at 5:30. So plenty of action, and of course a sprint race that will be going on at 3:30. For the Formula 1 as well. So plenty of sport if you are a sports fan. I'm going to try and watch both. I know it's going to be a difficult one. I'm going to try and watch both the sprint race and the football when the sprint race comes on in about 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to try and keep my composure as best as possible. I've just been really in the mood for F1 at the moment, really in the mood for F1. So you can't really blame me, can you? You can't really blame me. Exciting weekend, and it's good that there's plenty of action for us to get watching today, and one of those being, of course, this fantastic, it should be a fantastic game between Newcastle and Norwich City. That should be absolutely fantastic. Right, my score prediction then, ladies and gents, whilst I load up the stream. My score prediction is going to be, I'm going Newcastle 3, Norwich City 1. So 1-3 as you look on your screen. The home side scoring 1, and of course Norwich City as well. Newcastle, sorry. Just eventually just outclassing. That is my prediction. I think Newcastle will have too much for them today. Too much for them. Sam, you picked the worst game. I don't think I did. Leicester versus Aston Villa for me wasn't really one that I wanted to watch. And Man City versus Watford, again, not really too much I wanted to watch for that. Do I want to sit there and watch Manchester City beat someone 5-0 or watch a game here that could be an interesting one? The thing for me was, is it going to be mid-table mediocrity with Leicester and Aston Villa? That's my question, and I think it will be. I can't see that being a too much of an interesting game, but a lot to play for Norwich City today, as they will look to leapfrog Watford with a win today. They will try, and they will give it a good go, I'm sure, of at beating their, I'd say, one of their rivals from the beginning of the season. Definitely one of their rivals. Sam, did you go Huddersfield last night? No, I didn't, unfortunately. I didn't, but great scenes to see that Huddersfield guaranteed a promotion playoff place. And I do believe that Bournemouth and Fulham face off today. So with a positive result for Fulham today, that leaves Huddersfield 1 point behind, with Bournemouth having one game in hand. And I'm not saying that it's likely that Bournemouth will completely flunk it, but if Huddersfield can just keep applying that pressure, and Bournemouth start looking over their shoulders rather than looking forward, then they could be in with just an outside sniff of an automatic promotion spot. But third place, guaranteed at least a playoff place. Huddersfield Town will be pretty pleased with that. Curved is in the chat as well. Good afternoon to Curved. He is going with 2-1 to Newcastle United today. He's going with a similar score to me. I went with 3-1, of course. But lovely to have you in, Curved. Hope you are doing okay. And hopefully we've got a good game on our hands here between Norwich and Newcastle. That's what I'm hoping for. Thought I'd change things up and watch a few different sides. You know, I always watch Chelsea, and I will be watching them tomorrow against West Ham in a London derby. But why not watch Norwich and Newcastle and sit back and enjoy the game? Maybe something that I wouldn't typically have done. Bournemouth have 2 games in hand now, yes. But Huddersfield have played their one then. So they will have 1 game in hand tomorrow. Once they've played Fulham, they'll only have 1 game in hand. I think I've worked that out right. But yeah, they will. It's just that outside little bit of pressure, which might cause Bournemouth a few problems, and that's what I'm hoping for. At least, anyway, that is what I am hoping for. But let me know, guys. Who do you think's going to go up with Fulham and Bournemouth? I think we can pretty much tick them off, and let me know who you think should go up. Huddersfield Hud have literally 2 games left. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, Huddersfield Town. They finished 20th last season in the Championship, and now they're going to try and get themselves into the Premier League for the 2nd time in the last decade. Would be phenomenal if they could, and I'm hoping to try and get myself some playoff tickets as well. I'm sure they'll be hard to come by, though. I'm sure they will be hard to come by. The teams are just about to come out onto the field here, and then we will be underway in about 5 minutes. I hope Palace don't slide. What do you mean by that, curved? As in they don't slip off? Playoff for Huddersfield? Absolutely. I kind of hope Millwall go up. Good, because good rivals for Palace. It makes our rivalry with Brighton irrelevant. I don't think it makes it irrelevant, though. Like, I understand what you mean, as in they're the closer rival, but I don't think it makes it irrelevant. If anything, I think it makes it more intense, because now you've got to go to 2 places, because there is no chance in hell. If you go to Millwall and get battered, and say they go and beat you 3-0, there is no chance in hell that rivalry then with Brighton, you're going to go to Brighton and be like, yeah, all right, we've been beaten by them. It's going to incentivise you even more. It's going to pump you up even more to have that extra rival. But, you know, it'd be good to see an extra rivalry in there. Of course, Huddersfield and Leeds, that'd be a good one. The Yorkshire Derby, probably the top Yorkshire Derby that we've had in a while. Obviously, last season, I think we had Leeds and Sheffield United as well, but they're not really. They are rivals, but they aren't rivals, whereas Leeds and Huddersfield, they very, very much are. And, of course, Huddersfield and Bradford, all the teams sort of quite closely congested together. They are, whereas Sheffield are sort of on their own with Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday, where their focus is there. So it's a weird one. It's almost like the rivalry between Liverpool and Everton is like Huddersfield and Leeds, and then it's like Liverpool and Manchester United, where it's still a big rivalry, you still care about it, but realistically, no one's going to be talking about it the next day. Like, not everyone's going to go into work and be like, oh yeah, I'm a Sheffield fan. It's not quite the same, But as we can see on our screens now, let me see this midfield. They've gone with Joe Willock to sit in midfield as well, so we'll have to wait and see what Joe Linton's role is today. Will he be through the middle? Jurgen said he doesn't want Everton to go down. I can understand that. Friendly competition. I'm sure he loves coming up against Everton. And, you know, if Everton go down next season, Liverpool, who are their rivals going to be? Like, Liverpool and Manchester City are starting to create a little bit of a rivalry between them. But realistically, for the most part of the last 5-10 years, it's been dominated by Manchester City anyway. So it's not really a rivalry, it's just whoever's at the top. And for it to be like that, you've got to be consistently knocking each other off the podium. Take Manchester United and Arsenal at the beginning of the millennium. So I think that's why he said it, because he loves the rivalry, he loves those Merseyside derbies, and to take them away, yes, I'm sure Liverpool fans would love to see it, but to take it away would just ruin just a special couple of games per season. Just a few games per season. And take Newcastle United now. Who do they have a rivalry with? What, Jordan Pickford? Like, that is their rivalry now, isn't it? It's against one person who used to play for Sunderland because Sunderland have gone down. So it's definitely a weird one, and a weird one to weigh up just generally because of the way that things are in football at the moment. And a lot of insecure teams is probably the best way to say it. We're about to get ourselves underway here. Teemu Pukki will be getting us underway. Norwich City kicking from left to right to start us off in this game, and Newcastle playing in their away kit, their black kit, starting off from right to left. At the moment, it just looks like from that lineup right at the beginning, Joelinton through the middle. So despite there being a couple of questions about where Joelinton is starting, he is going through the middle. The graphic that was on my screen a second ago put him off the left of Newcastle United's attacking front three. So that'll be interesting to see. An afternoon to Max as well. And we are underway in the first half here. Let's see what both teams can do. I'm expecting some good football here from both sides. I know Dean Smith likes to play the ball nicely, likes to move it around and get his team to play well. And that, you can't criticise a team for doing that. It's about doing it in the right places at the right time and knowing when to go route one, go very Brexit with it is probably the best way to say it. And randomly, Max, I'm just going to mention this. I was on my viewing account, i.e. the one where I actually subscribe to people and actually use it for that. And one of your first ever videos came up, and I can't remember how old you are now, Max, but some of those photos, it was like, welcome to this channel, and it was an iMovie video, and it just really made me laugh. But it was really sweet. It was really sweet. But afternoon to you, Max. Hope you're doing alright, mate. Hope you're doing alright. Still blows my mind that Max isn't your name. Oh, that's a lovely ball there. Looking forward there for Teemu Pukki. Intercepted nicely though by Jamal Lascelles. Kraft's gone out to put a bit of pressure on Rashica. That's gone out of play for a Norwich throw-in. Norwich trying to get the ball down in the opening stages. Try to get themselves on the front foot. Maybe an early goal could get this crowd at Carrow Road behind. Bit of a slip there as they went to play the ball forward, but able to regain there. Here's Norman. Drops it into Grant Hanley. My question is always, every time I watch Norwich, for me, it's about trying to work out how many of these Norwich players... That's a lovely ball over the top to Dowell. What a touch that was as well from the number 10. And for me, I always find the best part about this is me trying to remember everyone's kit numbers. It's easy for Newcastle and the sides that I watch on a frequent basis and have been in the Premier League for a while, but people like Norwich, people like Watford, I always struggle with it. There's Joe Willock there, desperate for Alan St. Max to get up with him and actually run. But Max isn't your name, Max. Yeah, it always blows my mind. That does, Max. I don't know why I've got every notification on, because Bradford have just scored against Scunthorpe. Bielefeld have just scored against someone as well. I don't know why I have all of these on against Coombe. I don't know why I have them all on. Newcastle just getting themselves onto the ball here as Bruno Grameres spreads that towards Dan Burn, who finds Matty Target. Newcastle's turn now, just to dictate play nice and early on in this game, see what they can do. Lovely ball into the feet. They're playing some nice football there. Newcastle United already. St. Max runs down a gap there that wasn't there for him. Can Norwich hit on the counter-attack quickly? Is Gianna Lewis off that left-hand side? The fullback whose name, every time I say it completely differently. Manchester City have scored already. Yeah, and see, this is what I mean. I can just... this is why I chose this game, because I think it might actually have a little bit of a storyline and a bit of an arc to it, whereas I think City are just going to absolutely battle, maybe a little bit of a stalemate between Leicester and Aston Villa, and I think this one's probably the most likely one to have an actual entertaining game as football. That was the right idea there from Norwich. They're looking to be expansive early on in this game and spread the play nice and wide. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the pitch nice and wide, get round the outside of Newcastle United. Of course, they typically tend to play with wing backs. They're looking like they're playing with a 4 at the back at the moment, so maybe trying something different here from Dean Smith, just to try and spread the play, and especially with Teemu Pukki through that middle, try and get some balls into him, see if he can get his head on one or get himself onto a volley. Joelinton there dropping in deep with Grant Hanley to try and win the ball from the goal kick. Newcastle nearly play themselves into trouble. That's a poor headed back pass from Jamal Lascelles, but very well recovered from Dubravka there, who was in a foot race against Teemu Pukki. That's a lovely tackle as well from Matty Targett, and Alan St. Max has give the ball away there, but Bruno Grameres does well, and the ball can be carried forward by Kraft, who looks for a lovely guided ball through to Joelinton. Joelinton, he's just been beaten to that second touch there by Jean Lewis, and that'll go out for a Newcastle United throw in deep inside the half. I probably would have used my real name, but I was like 7 and I was like, oh, Max is a nice name, and now I can't change it because everyone knows me as Max. I mean, everyone has a stage name, don't they? Everyone has a stage name, except for me. Or is my name really Sam? Ooh, now that'd be a slight turn up for the books, wouldn't it? Everyone has a stage name, so it's all right. It's nice. I quite like it. I quite like it. That's good play from Norwich there to play the way out, and that's a great ball down the line by Rashica. And here go Norwich. Lovely flick from Teemu Pukki. Oh, Rashica's just slipped there as the ball was flipped back to him. It's a good idea though from Norwich. A good idea, I must say. The right idea to move the ball around. Matty Targett goes to Alan St. Max. Here's Bruno, who's going to switch it. That's a lovely ball from Bruno. Can he find out? Jacob Murphy! Oh! That was so close. What a ball from Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Yes, we do. What a ball that was from Bruno Grameres. What a ping. Jacob Murphy, it's lovely movement. He gets inside his defender and oh, so close. The inside of his foot. He's tried to just place it into that bottom corner, and it's so close to being a lovely, lovely strike from Jacob Murphy. What a lovely strike that would have been. What a ball from Bruno. I tell you what, that is some Brazilian brilliance there. Scunthorpe 2-0 down already. For God's sake. I literally have notifications on for like all of the local sides to where I grew up. And every time I see Scunthorpe's results, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm used to Grimsby being the ones who are losing in League 2. But Scunthorpe, unfortunately, will be joining Grimsby in the conference next season. Oh, God. But what a ball that was from Bruno. What a ball, man. I can't say that enough. It was a lovely ball to carve that Norwich City defence open, and Norwich really looked like they were panicking. Ironically enough, the person who has just scored for Bradford used to play, oh my God, Charles Vernam is having a worldie. Charles Vernam used to go to school with me, and he has now just scored and assisted against the side he used to be a youth squad member for. Mental. Sorry, completely got distracted there that Charles Vernam had scored. Oh my God. Dowell there runs through and he just tries to clip it over the goalkeeper there of Dubravka. It was a lovely ball played forward. I think that's Norman who gets the ball in behind Matty Targett, and it's a lovely ball to lift that one over. A lovely ball to lift that one over. The right idea, really, from Dowell, but not the right execution, unfortunately. Not the right execution at all. Both sides, though, they look like they can score. They both look like they're going to try and attack this game and try and get some points from it. Of course, Norwich need to, but they both look like they're going to give it a good go. They do look like they're going to give it a good go. Right, let's have a look, guys. We're currently on 3 likes. If you could, do be sure to smash that like button for us. That would be absolutely fantastic. And try and get us up towards that 15-like goal as usual. Grant Hanley there. Excuse me. That Lucas out there just made me a bit gassy. Blimey. Lovely touch from McLean there. Out wide. Good touch. Ball into Rashika. Rashika, he's got support here, but he's ran himself into trouble. But Newcastle giving the ball back straight away. Dowell says, I'll have that one. Here's McLean once again. He's going to try... Sorry, Norman once again tries to drive the ball forward, but Newcastle just applying the press at the moment. 666 subs, the devil's number. Yeah, if someone could subscribe and get us off that one pretty quickly, that would be... or unsubscribe and then resubscribe when we've got an extra one. That would be... just get us off that one nice and quickly. Max just said his middle name is one of your fans' names. I'm assuming you mean like subscribers. And I'm going to assume your middle name is therefore Oliver. Your middle name is Oliver because George Oliver sounds better than George Fraser. I'm going to go with Oliver. Or Thomas. Thomas could work as well. But I feel like you would have put Thomas instead of Tom. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. Again, you wouldn't have Sam as a middle name, you'd have Samuel as a middle name. It's got to be Oliver, it's got to be Oliver. Oliver, do you get referred to as Ollie at all? Or is it just always Oliver? Is that what you prefer? Newcastle with a free kick here just inside their half. They're going to clip one forward. They've got a few bodies forward. Matt Targett's going to loft one in. We're looking for Dan Burn there, and it's gone all the way over the top. And... might be able to be cleared up the field here. Lovely play there from Norwich to get that one out. But that's an awful ball. That is an awful ball. Jacob Murphy, can he get himself on it? He's doing really well there to nick the ball back. And here go Newcastle. Ball played into Joe Willock. He's got a bit of space and time here. Willock, oh, he's chosen to do the wrong thing there. He just overtook it. The touch there. Just over-committed himself to it. And it wasn't what we were wanting there from a Newcastle perspective. A little bit sloppy there from Joe Willock. But Norwich can't get themselves out here. Here's Bruno once again, who rolls it into Joe Willock. He's going to use Alan St. Max off that left-hand side. St. Max finds Willock once again. Here is Willock. Back into St. Max again. He's going to try whipping across there. That's an awful cross, and Grant Hanley can clear it that time. Headed back forward, though, again by Newcastle. Looking for Joelinton. Bit of head tennis at the moment. Can anyone get the ball down so we can see some actual football? And eventually the ball goes to Jamal Lascelles, who can get the ball back under. Thomas. See, I said it would either be Oliver or Thomas. I know what mums are like. They all pick the same middle names for everyone. Although, mine's Daniel. So... well, that's a good ball. Lees Malou, at the moment, looks like he's playing in behind Timu Pukki in maybe more of an advanced role here. He looks like he's playing well, though, so far. That's a good ball whipped in. Looking towards Dowell there. Good defensive play there. I think it was Dan Burn who got himself in there. Oh, St. Max has to be careful there. He has to be careful there, Alan St. Max. He was just trying to do his defending, and I think he just missed. Is it Byram, the fullback? Ooh. I'm sure they'll check it. Let's have a look. I don't think there's enough in it for me. Don't think there's enough contact in it. But Alan St. Max just has to be careful. Just has to be careful there. I don't think he quite sees him. I think he knows he's coming and he goes to put his leg out and fortunately sees him at the last moment, so he moves it. But he just has to be just careful there, Alan St. Max. It's gone out for a Newcastle goal kick, but just a little bit clumsy from Alan St. Maximin there. I don't think he quite saw Byron making that burst up. Maybe Byron would have got himself a nosebleed. Ooh, a little bit of a clumsy tackle there. We heard the screams from, I think it was Sean Longstaff there, Lees Malou. Just a little bit clumsy on Sean Longstaff. Sorry, it was Emil Kraft. It was quite high actually from Lees Malou there. Quite high. Very surprised. It was Oliver. Oh, right. So I did get it right. God, don't do me like that, Max. Bruno rolls it out wide. Here's Kraft once again. That's a lovely ball. Can Newcastle do it? They've got a few bodies in there. It was a decent ball in, but it needed to be pulled back there, I think. It needed to be pulled back. Unfortunately, all the Newcastle United players there were playing almost the same way. They were all running into the box, but no one was creating any options. So when Joe Willock found himself in the position to put the cross in, he only had one cross he could play. And Grant Hanley and the rest of the Norwich City defenders were able to easily defend that one. Easily able to defend that one. Afternoon, Lewis. How are we doing? Away the tune. How are we doing? What are you thinking so far to this game, if you are watching along? In comes the corner for Newcastle United. It's towards the back post. Lascelles does well. It's well cleared though by Norwich City. Lees Malou just jogging on the spot there. Did very, very well to keep his composure there as the ball was knocked back in. Looked like something from the training ground there for Eddie Howe's men. Eddie resting a couple of players. Yeah, I did say that when the lineups were brought out. Maybe just because of a bit of a... Well, over the next few games, it's sort of a cluster of fixtures. And, of course, you have had a midweek game and a game last weekend. And then, of course, this game as well. Just resting a few key players who've been very much in the middle of the success. And, oh, my God, Lees Malou. What a run this is from Lees Malou. If you can see Teemu Pukki. What a ball. Teemu Pukki. He's buried down on the keeper. He's sucking it around Dubravka. Pukki. Oh, I think the opportunity's gone. Oh, he's put over. Oh my God, Lees Malou! Oh my God, that could have been such a good goal. Dowell eventually puts it over, but Lees Malou, that was fantastic. If St. Max had done that, we'd have all been talking about it for the rest of our lives. Pukki goes round Dubravka, just takes it a bit too far, cleverly rolls it back to Dowell, and it's just behind Dowell. It's just behind Dowell. Oh my gosh, that was a huge opportunity for Norwich City. A huge opportunity. Pukki does well to spot Dowell in the first place. Oh my gosh, it's just behind him. He just gets underneath it. He just gets underneath it. Oh my God. That was brilliant play from Lees Malou. That was the bit of quality that I thought Lees Malou had in him. He just showed it there. He skipped by a couple of players on the halfway line, got himself into some clean air, and then continued going and continued moving forward. And he looked absolutely fantastic. I couldn't hear what you said. You said it so fast. I know. I was trying to keep up with everything that was going on. It was probably giving me, as Lees Malou was running through there, it was giving me, you know, Eden Hazard against Arsenal, where he picked up the ball on the halfway line and then scored an absolute worldie and like drifted his whole way through the Arsenal team. It was giving me that vibes. almost Hatton Ben Arfa vibes as well. It was a lovely run, a really good run, and Newcastle, oh, that's a lovely nutmeg though from Alan St. Max. Here goes St. Max, anything you can do, I can do better. Grant Hanley's there though, he's not going to get away from Grant Hanley. Oh, well played, Grant Hanley. He knew what St. Max was going to do there. He absolutely knew what he was going to do. Lewis says, thank God. Right, it's time to put its speed down to 0.5 and watch me again. Did you get that as well? Oh, honestly, I thought when Pookie took that round the keeper, his touch was just a little bit too heavy. But good play from Norwich City, really good play. What can Newcastle do? They need to respond. They need to show that they can do it even better. Joelinton's dropped in nice and deep here to collect the ball. They have got a lot of movement because of Joelinton playing up front today. Maybe playing more as a false nine, coming to pick up the ball. Kraft rolls it into Joe Willock, who's made a darting run in between the full-back, who rolls it back to Sean Longstaff. Headed clear by Norwich again, and they might be able to counter-attack here. They're setting themselves up nicely for a counter-attack as Norman tries to get away, and that's a foul. Deemed to have been a foul by Joe Willock. I can understand your scouts. I think I'm 1 minute behind. I think I'm also a minute behind anyway, because it will have been kick-off at... what, 3 o'clock, and I'm on 20 minutes. It's 21 minutes past now, so don't you worry. You can always pause me, because the time that I'm on is up here. So pause me at that time, and then when you get to that time, then you can play, and then we'll be at the same time. You can always do that, Lewis, and I'll appreciate it. 2 times speed. Max has got to go. No worries, Max, no worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. Norwich nick the ball back again. Here goes Timu Pookie up this left-hand side, up against Jamal Lascelles. Lascelles gets his legs in a little bit of a tangle there, but Pookie still retains the ball. He's going to look across, and he's found Byram. Lovely ball out wide to Byram there. St. Max has come back and has done really well himself. Here is Byram, who drops it into Norman. Oh, he tries an outside of the foot pass there, and it just doesn't come off. And Dubravka can easily usher that one behind for a goal kick. The better of the opportunities, though, so far have fallen to Norwich City. And like Lewis said, I think Dean Smith, I think Eddie Howe, has downgraded his tools just a little bit for today's game. But that's no excuse. This Newcastle United side, still full of confidence and still full of talent, just need to up it a little bit. Just in 3rd gear at the moment. They've got plenty of gears still to shift into. Yeah, Lewis, if you pause like me talking, and then when your stream gets up to say 22:10, then press play on me, and we'll be at exactly the same time, and then you can just put in the chat stuff a bit later on, and that's what I do when I'm usually behind Josh when I'm watching a view from the stands. I'm usually a little bit behind him as well. I don't know if you know who Josh is, Lewis, but if you don't, go and subscribe to AVFTS. I don't know if you've come over from Josh or if you're a subscriber that only is like subscribed randomly, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's fine. Fair enough. Dubravka into Jamal Lascelles. Lascelles is going to clip one forward there, looking for Joelinton. Joelinton's been swarmed by Zimmerman there, and Joelinton just manages to get the ball back, has he? Yes, he has nicked the ball back, but Sean Longstaff has lost it. Manchester City have scored a second as well. Let me drop a link to his channel for you. You should definitely know who he is. You should. He's fantastic. He's a mate of mine. Fantastic, and does a lot of similar kinds of things to myself. So there you are. Fraser as well. If that link doesn't work to Josh's channel, could you drop a link for Lewis, and then Lewis can go check him out as well. You'll love it over there. He's fantastic. He's got a matchday vlog coming today, and he does loads of great content, so you'll love it over there. And that is to anyone else as well, not just Lewis. If you are watching and enjoying this and think you like a similar kind of thing, do be sure to go over to AVFTS. It's on 5,000 subscribers, but it's a fantastic community over there. Right. I set that reminder about 3 hours ago and I totally forgot I'd set that. That is for the sprint race for the Formula 1. Norman has just gone down off the side of the pitch here for Norwich City. Let me get the sprint race up for me, and then I can sit and chill out and watch both at the same time, see which one I find most exciting for today. It should be good. What a ball that is over the top. And oh, Norwich are just stretching. They really are stretching Newcastle United at the moment. They're really stretching them, causing them lots of problems. Lots of problems, causing them issues of their own, causing them problems. And Norwich look good. Norwich look good. There's another ball there looking forward towards Timu Pukki. Norwich City look like they've got a goal in them. But Joe Willock, really well played there by Joe Willock, and here goes Joe Willock. He's going to try set a counter-attack off, and that ball there just to Alan St. Max needed to be better, needed to be much, much better. Much, much better. There you are. Thank you, Fraser, thank you. That's his channel, Lewis, if you want to go check him out, why not? Absolutely. Time for me to enjoy a good game of football. I'm pleased with the quality of football being played here at Carrow Road today. Both sides look like they've got a goal in them. In fact, I'd say Norwich look like they've got more of a goal in them. And of course, then I've also got the sprint race, which will be starting in 5 minutes as well. K-Mag to win it all. Yusuf has just messaged me as well. So fantastic stuff. Here's Joelinton. Joelinton drops it back into Bruno. Here's Joe Willock into Bruno. Can Newcastle build themselves a goal here? St. Max rolls it out wide to Matty Target. Target there, look for the nutmeg on Byron. But Byron was alert to it, and that's gone out of play for a corner for Newcastle United. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, ladies and gents. What can Newcastle do from this? It'd be a little bit against the run of play if this results in a goal for Newcastle United, but Jacob Murphy is going out to take this corner. Let's have a look. Jacob Murphy goes to whip it in. It's flicked onto the front post. Oh my God, it's gone all the way across the face of the goal. Norwich City are so lucky. So lucky there, Norwich City. I don't know how Newcastle haven't put that in. Oh, it's flicked over the top of Bruno Grameres, and he jumped and he's a couple of inches away. And Norwich is so lucky there that there was no one running in at the back post. I don't know why there wasn't, but oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Straight across the face of the goal. Straight across the face and out for a Norwich goal kick. Crikey. Jeez, my ears. And Watford have scored as well. I've updated the score of Watford at the bottom. I don't think I have for a little while. Let's get that sorted before the race gets going. It's 2-1 now. Watford fancy spoiling the party for Manchester City this season. Everyone's fancying it a little bit at the moment, don't they? Everyone's fancying it at the moment. Fraser says, geez, my ears. I mean, we are on -5 decibels, so that's just me being loud generally. It's a good job I'm on -5, eh? Watford doing better than Brighton already, says Fraser. There's a poor ball there as it goes up that left-hand side. I'm just sitting and going to enjoy. I've got a sprint race to watch. I'm so excited. I'm so excited as well. So bloody excited. 28 minutes on the clock. The best of the opportunities so far in this Norwich versus Newcastle game. Falling to Norwich City. A brilliant run from Lees Malou. Nearly ended in a goal for Dowell as Timo Pukki took it round the keeper and rolled it back to Dowell, having gone a little bit wide. But Newcastle need to find their feet at some point here. They do need to find their feet and really create some clear-cut opportunities, because that is the criticism so far. It is still 0-0, so they'll be okay with it, but they need to create a clear-cut opportunity. Maybe that's what they're lacking. Maybe we'll see Chris Wood at half-time if they are still at 0-0. Excited to watch a sprint race? Yeah, do you not know what a sprint race is, Fraser? As in F1. Yeah, got a spot in my beard. Yeah, might be an ingrown hair. That'll be painful. That'll be painful. I tell you what, Emil Kraft and Matt Target look like carbon copies of each other. Like, you know when you see them from up here, if you will, like from the camera, and you see them and you're just like, they just both look exactly the same. Obviously they don't in person, but they look very similar. They do look very similar. I thought it was someone running. No, it's the F1. It's the new format that they've tested. They tried and tested it a little bit last year. So in order to have a little extra bit of competition, Lees Malou's going to try unleash Timo Pukki there. But in order to get a little bit more competition, they've changed up a couple of the weekends in the F1 calendar. I think it's 3. And you have a qualifying on the Friday night, and then whoever qualifies starts the sprint race, which is like a quarter distance or something like that. 20 laps, I think this one is, of Imola. And you get points depending as well. So it's just an extra way for a few teams to get themselves some points, and then if you finish first in the sprint race as well, you get pole for the Grand Prix tomorrow. So a very interesting way of doing it is... Oh, there's Fernando Alonso there. Gets stuck right at the beginning. Yellow flags. Fernando Alonso couldn't get his car going. Sam, I love the picture of your lockdown trim. Honestly, my lockdown trim was awful, man. My lockdown trim was absolutely awful. Lovely ball clip forward there, looking for Alan St. Max, who's just tripped Zimmerman there. Grimsby are losing. No surprises. No surprises. Lincolnshire isn't known for its footballing talent, I must say. Other than, of course, Patrick Bamford, born in Grantham. There you are, Patrick Bamford, probably the best footballer to have come out of Lincolnshire for a long time. That I can think of off the top of my head. Dan James used to play for Hull. I guess that's Yorkshire, but Dan James used to... I think he was born in Hull, actually. Dan James. I think we've got that right. Tim Crow with a goal kick here. Move that one forward. Newcastle win the ball back. That's spannered back towards Martin Dubravka's goal, and Dan Burn has had to play that one out for a throw-in. He won't have wanted to do that, I tell you what. Come on, let's see something then. Let's see a goal. Let's have something. Here's McLean into Jean Lewis, who looks down that line again. They're looking to play the right balls, Norwich City, but they're just not quite coming off. They're overhitting stuff, which of course, you know, only leads to problems, really. Leads to problems, and of course, you know, we want to see some goals, don't we? We do want to see some goals. Maybe our score predictions of a 3-1 and a 2-1 from Curved was a little bit over... What's the word? A little bit over-optimistic looking at this first half. But Norwich City have definitely had the opportunities. Just Newcastle need to up it. They need to up it. I've not been very impressed with them in this first half. They've been second best for at least 25 minutes of the 32 minutes that have been played thus far in this game. Thank you to those who have liked. If you haven't already and you are enjoying the stream, do be sure to smash that like button for us and do hit subscribe as well. That would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that for me. Newcastle looking to play their way out of the back right now. St. Max Tries to win the header. Joelinton and St Max have just swapped positions here as Joe Willock puts Grant Hanley under a little bit of pressure. And the sprint race is underway, as well as, oh my god, Sergio Perez, what a start that is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted now with the football. Oh my gosh, and Leclerc's got in front as well. What is going on, man? What is going on? Matt Target now rolls one down the line, looking for Alan St Max. St Max rolls it into Sean Longstaff on this, who's rolled it out wide, looking for Joe Willock. The ball just a little bit behind Joe Willock. Bruno Grameres now tries to move the ball forward. Newcastle just having to be patient at the moment, just having to be patient. Can they build and grow here, Newcastle, into this game and move it a little bit faster? I wish it was as fast paced as the F1 seems to be in this first lap, I tell you what. Oh, what that ball that was from Sean Longstaff to find Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy, lovely back heel through the legs into Emil Kraft. This could be a lovely goal if they can tee it up nicely. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Joelinton! Oh! What a finish that is from Joelinton! What a finish that is from Joelinton! Oh my gosh, what a goal! What a goal that is from Joelinton! What a finish. It's a lovely bit of play down that right-hand side from Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy back heels it through the legs of Jan Lewis into Emil Kraft. He then rolls it back to St Max. The ball just was a little bit astray from, oh my God, from Sean Longstaff. And Joelinton was like, no need, no worries. I'll bend this into the top corner. And he's absolutely scored a delightful goal, Joelinton there. What a finish. Cutting in on that right foot. What a finish that is. What a finish that is from Joelinton. A lovely, lovely finish. I am very impressed with that finish from Joelinton. What a finish. Tom will be buzzing. Tom will most certainly be buzzing. And if anyone is interested, the F1. Ooh, possible offside. Oh, let me just wait. Let me just wait. VAR, my lord. VAR. VAR, my lord. They're checking for a possible offside from that first pass with Jacob Murphy here. Oh, I don't think you can give that. I don't think you can give that. He's out of focus anyway. You can't see him. They've given it as onside. That's good. That was better. Like, you know, it needs to be checked, of course. It is close. It's fine margins. But even on those occasions, I think you need to give the benefit of the doubt with the attacker there, because it's so close, and it's because the camera makes it blurry as well. It's so far away. But what a finish that is from Joelinton. Very much against the run of play. Very much against the run of play. Definitely onside there. And what a finish that is from Joelinton as well. A lovely finish from Joelinton, the big Brazilian, who's scored an absolute worldie. Probably one of the goals of his career so far for Joelinton there. A lovely, lovely finish from the Brazilian, and he's absolutely rocketed it into the top corner. Lovely stuff from Joelinton. What a finish. What a finish. I hope you're watching that one. If you're going to watch a goal tonight on match of the day, definitely that one from Joelinton. Definitely that one. What a lovely bit of play from Newcastle United. And that was what I was saying. They just needed that quality. They didn't quite have the quality for that first sort of, first 35 minutes or so. Up until that goal, they didn't have the quality. And it was, Norwich were doing very, very well. Very, very well. And now, you know, Joelinton, that was the bit of quality I was talking about that Newcastle most certainly needed. And what a finish it is from the Brazilian. What a finish it is. 7 minutes from half-time. That will not be what Dean Smith will have wanted. One goal in the Championship. Is that all that there has been so far? St. Max gives away a foul there. Lees Malou so far for me has been Norwich City's man of the match. He's looked excellent on the ball as he's moved forward. Zimmerman looks forward there, looking for Rashika. That's good defensive play by Lascelles and hooked clear by Emil Kraft. Norwich City get themselves back on the ball. Oh, that's a poor clearance from Tim Krul and Joe Willock there. Sorry, Jacob Murphy there just gives the ball away from that touch. Sam. Yes, Oliver, what? I am reading your comments. I can still see all the comments. 3-1 to City. Is that what you were wanting? Scoreboard the wrong way. Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice that. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Thanks. Ooh, there we are. And then we need to update that as well. It's because I name it as Scorer 1, and so that threw me off because I did the scorer first. 35, Joe Linton. There we are. That's better. Thank you. Do that. Do that. There we are. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Oh my God. Here you go, Newcastle again. Jacob Murphy. Joe Linton! 2-0. That was good timing, wasn't it? Joe Linton's gone and put it 2-0 up. Newcastle have just stepped it up. Last 5 minutes have just stepped it up completely. And Norwich City are crumbling. Norwich City are crumbling. Absolutely crumbling here. It's a lovely run from Jacob Murphy. I think Grant Hanley had done enough there. It's a great ball from Bruno Grameres as well to find Jacob Murphy. What a ball that is. Jacob Murphy, Joe Linton. Easy finish for Joe Linton. It ended up being a sweaty goal. Wasn't the intention from Joe Linton whatsoever. But a lovely finish. And you know, I was saying that they just needed to up that quality, didn't they? They just needed to up that quality, and they've found the quality now. They have most certainly found that quality now. And the Newcastle fans, you can hear them absolutely in full voice. Joelinton, 2 goals today. Norwich will be really disappointed, though. Really disappointed. The better team for the first 35 minutes. Even up until that Joelinton goal, they were the better of the two sides. And it's really interesting that actually Newcastle, they just have that ability at the moment. That's what's separating them from the teams just a little bit lower, that they've got that belief and that want to push on and go further and do better. And that's what's separating them, and that's why they've managed to propel themselves out of the relegation zone, because they have that belief that they are capable of doing a good job, and they are. In the last 5 minutes or 7 minutes or so, they've just upped it, just upped the ante, just slightly, and now Norwich City have found themselves with 2 goals to fight back, and surely they can't do it like they did against United last weekend. Surely they can't. Norwich City have a free kick here. There's going to be a good range here, potentially. Look for the header, Grant Hanley. It's whipped in. Is that headed? Oh my God, it goes all the way through and out the other side. Whipped in again. Lees Malou this time puts one in. Looking for Grant Hanley again. It comes back out the box. Newcastle can't clear it, and that's taking a deflection. Is that a corner? It is a corner for Norwich City. Will they get themselves a goal? Norman's going to go out to take this corner. Lewis says, get in Joelinton. Good. Good. He's been at the right place at the right time. No worries, Lewis. Absolutely no worries, lad. Let's come back out again to Norwich. It's clipped in. Pookie's going to try and get himself under there. That's good defensive play by Dan Burn there as well, actually. Really, really good defensive play. We've got about a minute until half-time, and then I am going to... so I'm going to pop for sort of 5 minutes or so. I'll leave the scores scrolling across the bottom, and the video which I uploaded the other day will be playing. So if you do enjoy that video, do be sure to go drop it some love on the channel. I just need to grab some lunch. I've not had a chance yet. Hey Sam, how's your Saturday so far? It's going well. It's going well. No worries. Lewis, no worries. Yeah, it's going well. Wiki, hope you're doing okay. I'm sure you had a great morning with that result against Manchester United earlier, as Newcastle looked to break forwards, and Sean Longstaff should have done better there. He's absolutely blazed that one over. Empty net to put that one into. But like I say, at half-time, I will just be playing that video for you guys to have a watch, so that there's still some content for you. I just need to go make myself a sandwich. I've not had a chance. Went for a run, did myself a 10k this morning. I was absolutely knackered last night, so I didn't get up till 10. So I'm trying to squeeze everything in for you guys. I do hope that is okay, of course. You know, on this one occasion, we won't be having a half-time game, but I do hope that is okay. And then I'll be back for the second half. We will keep the stream running, like I say. The video will just be playing instead, so there will be something for you guys to comment on. We are in the 45th minute. We're yet to find out how long we've got for added time, and just as I say that, the fourth official puts his board up, and it is 2 minutes of added time for Norwich to try change the complexion of where they're going with this. If anyone is interested in what's going on in the F1, Charles Leclerc leads the sprint race from Max Verstappen to Lando Norris to Kevin Magnussen and Sergio Checo Perez, with Danny Rick down in 6th, Lewis Hamilton down in 15th place, the 7-time world champion, and George Russell, another Brit, in 12th place as well, just in case if anyone was interested. Your reaction to Rudiger leaving Chelsea? I'm going to address that tomorrow, Wiki, in the Chelsea stream. I'm going to address that tomorrow because, of course, you know, we need to... He's been fantastic, hasn't he? He has been fantastic for Chelsea over the last few seasons, as Checo Perez goes past Magnussen, and Timu Puki's going to go down to the byline. He has been fantastic. Sprint race, the 100 metres. Fraser's already made that joke, Oliver, so you're a bit late on that one. You're a bit late on that one, lad. But I will be looking as well over the course of the next few weeks to transition the Sam Redgate-Large YouTube channel into sport-wide. Of course, that is what I've been wanting to do for the last sort of year or so, transition more into sports. We'll be getting Louis on as well. He'll be leading a bit of a Formula 1 show every Thursday night, looking to do that as well, and there'll be clips and stuff like that all coming out onto the channel. Of course, there'll still be the watch-alongs. We'll be looking to do 2 watch-alongs a week with maybe an extra video as well, like we've had this week on the Friday as well. So there'll be plenty of content for you guys to sit and enjoy and admire over that time. But yeah, Rudiger leaving, very, very sad from a Chelsea perspective. I don't want him to leave, because he's one of those players who's the best way to phrase it, and I cannot think of a better way to phrase it than a shit house. I hate, obviously, you know, I'm not really a big fan of swearing on this channel, but I cannot think of a better way to say it than he is a shit house, and he is one of those players that just gets on everyone's nerves, just absolutely gets on everyone's nerves. But that is half-time, ladies and gents. That is half-time, and as you can see, they are the scores scrolling across the bottom. Let me make sure that all of these are nice and up to date. Thank you to those who have liked. If you are enjoying, like I say, do be sure to smash that like button for us. We've got the goal of 15 likes as well. I think he'll be going to, I imagine he will be going to what's the word, Real Madrid. That's where I imagine he will be going, because he's been in talks with Real Madrid for absolutely donkey's years. But I'm going to leave you guys for 10 minutes or so, just because I need to get something to eat. I'll be really, really quick. But what I have set up for you is, if I can get this sorted and working correctly, where's the back zoom screen? Here it is. Here, so on this screen, if I just update this at the top as well. We're just going to have the video from the other day as well, and let me know your thoughts as well. The video was one player. I'm going to be back in like 10 minutes max, so you won't miss me for too long. I promise you. The video is going to be one player that each Premier League team should sign. I came back for half time. I do apologise, Max. I do apologise, but I need to get something to eat. I've not had anything to eat since I woke up. So I do need to get something to eat, and I've been for a run and everything. Dylan, lovely to have you in. Dylan Riley says, come on, Newcastle as well. So I'm going to pop for about 10-15 minutes. If you do enjoy this video, guys, do be sure to go over and drop it some love. Hasn't really been as well received as I would have liked and would have appreciated, so that would be it would be great if you could do that for me. Obviously there's a lot of time for me to get 30 views on a video. I appreciate the support to those who obviously do come in, week out, and do that for me. But I will see you guys in a little bit. Enjoy the video, and I'll be back once I've had a sandwich and once I've chilled out just a little bit. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes or so for the second half. Lovely stuff, guys. See you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. Should make over summer. This is the part 1 or part A of this 2-part series with this, and we're going to do from Arsenal down to Leicester in this video. If you do enjoy this and you want to keep up to date so you can see the next, let me give it a go. Why is it lagging my voice? Let me come back here. Do this. Now go. Girls, welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel, and today we have one transfer each Premier League side should make over summer. This is the part 1 or part A of this 2-part series with this, and we're going to do from Arsenal down to Leicester in this video. If you do enjoy this and you want to keep up to date so you can see the next video, do be sure to smash that like button, and of course hit subscribe as well if you are new to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. So we will jump into this and we'll just get straight on with it. We'll start off with Arsenal. Arsenal, their biggest weakness this season has been a lack of a striker. Whilst they have Lacazette, who has been decent this season, decent is a bit of a stretch. The goals have been coming from those attacking midfielders in Smith Rowe, Saka, Ødegaard and Martinelli, and so they need someone who's going to lead the line so that those behind can be a little bit more creative. Naturally, they went in January for Dusan Vlahovic, who was having a fantastic season at Fiorentina and has moved to Juventus now and has continued that goal scoring form. Dusan Vlahovic is therefore the point that we are going to look at, and the striker, and why not find the closest thing to him? Patrick Schick, for me, is that man who has scored similar amounts of goals this season and has a better goals per game ratio actually than Dusan Vlahovic. Stat-wise, in terms of goals and assists and shot creating actions, shots taken, they are both very, very close and similar in the way that they play. So Mikel Arteta might well be looking at Patrick Schick, who's bagged 20 goals so far this season in the Bundesliga. I think it could work. It just depends if Patrick Schick can keep this form up. As we know, this is one of the first seasons that Patrick Schick has really started to come on. He's hit 20 for the first time in his career. And so Mikel Arteta just needs to be very, very wary, but he could be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. Let's move on, and of course alphabetically, let's move on to Aston Villa. And Aston Villa come into this video realistically with 4 losses in a row, and so defensive capabilities are maybe being called into question. They of course signed Lucas Digne over the January transfer window, and that was a great signing. So I'm going to look at the centre halves, as I think Matty Cash is a player who could play for Villa for a couple of years to come and won't be out of his depth. I think there's a good enough ceiling there. But we will talk about centre halves, and I'm going to suggest Roger Ibanez of Roma. And it might be a little bit controversial because Roma are playing European football and there's quite a hefty price tag being chucked around for him. But I think he's been very, very good this season for Roma. I think this could be a really good signing. He outperforms the other centre halves of Aston Villa, including the likes of Mings, Courtney Hawes, and of course Ezri Konsa. I'm not saying it'll be a swap for Ezri Konsa in any shape or form, but I think he could definitely advance this defence and who knows, maybe improve Aston Villa. And looking at the stats, I think the stats tell you absolutely everything. He is miles ahead in tackles, pressures and interceptions than the Aston Villa defenders that I've just mentioned. And it looks like a no-brainer for an improvement. Like I said, maybe the sticking point will be that 20 to 40 million pound price tag that could fall on Ibanez's head, especially if Roma continue that push. Brentford are a team that are on the back of 6 wins out of 7, fantastic form, and you've got to question then, where can they improve? They're doing that well. But I'm going to go with and look at the creativity, and I'm going to say that they need a new winger, and that winger is going to be Anthony Gordon. Of course, very dependent on whether Everton go down or not, but if they do go down, I can see this being a really good move for Anthony Gordon. 21 years of age and is more than capable of starting for Brentford. Definitely the criticism of Brentford is, if Christian Eriksen doesn't sign pen to paper, where does that creativity come from? And I think Anthony Gordon could be the catalyst for their creativity next season. I think he would work very, very well alongside the likes of Ivan Toney and Mbeumo, and potentially be able to improve their goal scoring output. Mbeumo at the moment has 8 XG, which sounds good, but he's only scored 4 goals this season, so something needs to change. 2.51 shot creating actions per 90, scoring above his XG. Anthony Gordon looks like he has the total package, and I think in a side such as Brentford that plays nice football and aren't afraid to attack, I think he will only go and get better and better.
Where are you playing? No excitement.
Next up is Brighton. Brighton, I think they need a new centre-half. Of course, they lost Dan Burn in January to Newcastle United, and I think they need a replacement. And a player who I think could be a replacement is James Tarkowski. It's looking likely that Burnley will go down this season, and James Tarkowski, a Premier League experienced player, former England international as well, 29 years of age. It is a bit of a quick fix, but definitely more than capable. In terms of him, compared to Dan Burn, very similar defensive output, but the one sticking point could be he's maybe not as good on the ball. But that tends to be as well because of the way that Sean Dyche has played with Burnley over the last few years. It's very difficult to weigh this one up, but I think it would be an excellent signing. I think he could be a real heart of that defence, and him alongside Lewis Dunk to me screams like a rock at the back. The price tag would be about 20 million. James Tarkowski doesn't quite fit the play style that we love at Brighton, and Potter loves at Brighton, that fast flowing football, passing the ball, and so maybe this might be a little bit of a sticking point, but for £20 million it looks like a brilliant signing for Brighton. Next up is Burnley, and I'm going to take Burnley as if they're staying up, although I'm not overly confident that will happen. Burnley, I think there's going to be a massive restructure come in anyway, depending on who the manager is. They're all Sean Dyche's players, 100 million% the way that Sean Dyche like to play, and I'm sure we'll see a transition of the way that they play. And a player that I do think though was maybe run his time in this Burnley team is Matthew Lowton, a very good servant for Burnley and has been a solid player for Burnley and reliable over the last few years. I just think they can do better in that right back role. And a suggestion for me would be Max Aarons. Max Aarons, 22 years of age, of course, is equaling Matthew Lowton in terms of defensive outputs and then bettering him by a long way in terms of passing and attacking. And so this to me seems like a no-brainer. I think Max Aarons though might want to stay at Norwich, especially with Dean Smith there. He might see the attractive brand of football that Dean Smith is trying to play and say, actually, I want to stay at Norwich. I think it'd be a good move if Burnley stay up for Max Aarons, and I think it could really bolster their attack. I'm surprised they haven't expanded in those defensive wide areas more often, if I'm honest with you, but I definitely think Max Aarons could be a good fit for Burnley, depending, of course, on who the new manager is. Chelsea, ladies and gents, is next, and Chelsea, of course, have a few problems in terms of players who they might potentially lose. Rudiger and Christensen, the two who are looking like they're going to be on their way out. Rudiger less likely, but Christensen is pretty much out of the door at this point. as a hope and as a wish as a Chelsea fan, I'm then going to say that Rudiger stays. And if Rudiger stays, that means we need one extra centre-half, and that's where I'm going. Jules Koundé was the man who was linked with Chelsea left, right and centre last season. He couldn't get away from the attention, and the big sticking point there was the fact that Sevilla wanted extra money. There's been an extra year wound down on that contract, and Jules Koundé again this season has proved he is a very, very good contributor to Sevilla's defence. He is, in comparison to the Chelsea defenders, the second best defender, even scoring better defensive outputs than Thiago Silva, who many deem to be in the Premier League team of the season so far. Jules Koundé for me seems like an absolute steal, 23 years of age. Even if we have to pay 50-60 million euros, with Thiago Silva still there, able to nurture and care and bring the best out of Jules Koundé, it looks like an absolute steal and an absolute must for Chelsea. Crystal Palace are a team who, unfortunately, this week have lost the semi-final of the FA Cup. And what that game did bring into question was, what do they do when Conor Gallagher has gone? Of course, he will be returning to Chelsea in the summer, and Chelsea are looking to keep him. Thomas Tuchel said he wants to keep him, and so that is the question that is going to be asked. What do they do when he leaves? And surprisingly, I've actually opted to go for a Chelsea player as someone to nominate, and I've gone with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And the reason I've gone with that is because I think Vieira will like Ruben Loftus-Cheek in his team. This isn't down to stats, this isn't down to, any rhyme or reason really, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we saw it at the weekend in that FA Cup semi-final, can dictate games, and he is strong, he's powerful, and he's excellent on the ball. If he can add some goals to his game, Conor Gallagher will definitely not really be missed. He's been fantastic, Conor Gallagher, this season, chipping in with goals, assists, absolutely everything. The game's been fantastic, but I just think Ruben Loftus-Cheek, at the age of 26, maybe needs to take a step to a club where he can get full game time. As a box-to-box midfielder, Ruben Loftus-Cheek could completely get rid of all their worries. Valued at about 20 mil as well. Seems like an absolute bargain for an England international. Next up is Everton, and I'm once again just going to assume that they stay up this season, even though I've done it for Burnley as well. But if they do stay up this season, of course, then they will have a lot to work on coming into the next season. I don't think there's been anything in particular that has gone wrong. If you were to look at it, it's just been a shambles of a season for Everton this year. They've had injuries, they've had worries, they've had absolutely everything. But one person who I will say who is maybe past his best at the moment is Seamus Coleman, and Seamus Coleman therefore is a player that I would be looking to replace if I was Frank Lampard, or at least try get a better starting player in those wide positions. Having lost Lucas Digne as well, they need another fullback in that squad, and so I have suggested Luke Thomas of Leicester. He's played 20 times for Leicester this season and has looked very good when he has done so. Luke Thomas might want to move from Leicester as well, considering they've got Ryan Bertrand, James Justin, Castagna and Pereira all there, so that's 4 fullbacks all in there as well. And so what that will do is, if Everton are able to secure Luke Thomas, it will, number one, give competition to Mykolenko on that left-hand side, but it would free up John Joe Kenny, who's been playing on that left-hand side as a right footer, and move him back to the right-hand side. And then, of course, when Nathan Patterson is also fit as well and back and ready to rumble, then they will have 2 good fullbacks and still Seamus Coleman there in the dugouts to really
right,
bring
ladies
on
and
this
gents,
Everton
I think
side.
it's time
I think it's a
for us to come back here, ladies and gents. Let me move this and change this back to the regular colour. We are underway. I'll just get that updated for us, ladies and gents. We'll get everything back up to date. Hopefully you did enjoy that. If you want to watch the rest of that, that is obviously now live on my channel, and do be sure to watch that, as Max Verstappen has just retaken the lead of the sprint race. And we are back in the second half. Let me get the timer all set up. I do apologise. I just needed to get some food down there. I was absolutely starving. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for those who continue to watch as well. And hopefully you did enjoy that video as well. But we will be underway. If I can get myself going at the right time. and then change it to second half as well. Max Aarons would not be my pick because we have Connor Roberts, fair enough. Plus we need a right back. You do need a right back. Need a winger like Townsend. Right, we're up to 46 minutes now, and we are underway in the second half. Don't forget, ladies and gents, we are underway in the second half. Enjoy your sandwich. I did, yes, I did. That was very much a needed sandwich, I will say, so thank you for those who have sat and watched. And I've got a bag of crisps there as well. Got myself a Lucasade as well. Goldington, says Shane. I absolutely love that. It was a lovely first goal, especially a lovely first goal in that game. Great stuff from Joelinton. Lovely to see. But lovely to have you in, Shane. Lovely to have you in. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy the second half of this game as I open up my little crisps. There are other crisps out there, though, ladies and gents. There are other crisps out there. Is the background noise on, is my question. Thoughts on Hamilton? Hamilton's in, what is he, in 15th at the minute? He's in 15th. Yeah, the background noise is on. Max Verstappen gets victory, in case if anyone is wondering. But Hamilton's down in 15th place at the minute, 14th place. So not a good day at the office for Mercedes, and not a good day at the office either for Norwich City as well, who have found themselves 2-0 down after a good 30 minutes. And I don't think that's me being like overly harsh on Newcastle, but Newcastle weren't good for a good 30 minutes, and then really the best play that they had all game was that goal for Joelinton's first one, and it was a lovely finish from him. A lovely finish with him. I've already ordered my Joelinton poster. We're all going to have Joelinton posters at this rate. We're all going to have Joelinton posters. Eddie May keep his job next season. He's done very well. He has done really, really well. I do wonder how far Eddie Howe will be able to take this Newcastle United side, because, you know, I think he can maybe take them, obviously this season it looks like it might be a top half finish for them, which would be absolutely fantastic. Tim Krul is the ball rolled back to him. Oh, what a poor pass that is, and Jacob Murphy. Oh! Sorry, it was Bruno Grameres! That was filth! Oh my gosh, that is filthy from Bruno Grameres! What a finish! What a finish! Bruno Grameres, take a bow! It was a poor clearance from Tim Krul, who only succeeded there, really, in finding Bruno. I thought he played into Jacob Murphy, because I was like, why is he that high up? And he clips it and he chips it straight over. What a finish that is from Bruno, and Newcastle are now 3-0 up and absolutely cruising. That is the Brazilian flair that they need, and that's what they signed him for, to bring that little bit of flair, that calm, composed head in midfield, and what a finish that is from Bruno. I tell you what, we'll talk about Bruno today. We most certainly will. What a finish that is. What a finish that is. A lovely goal from Newcastle, and now it looks like it's going to be a long second half for Norwich City. Any hopes of a comeback in this first half have surely gone out of the window now. Surely gone out of the window. I'm going to Burnley versus Newcastle, which is going to be scary. Brexit football, that will be scary. Very, very scary. Ooh, that was a thunderous strike, which was parried away there from Tim Krul. The guy is incredible. He most certainly is. What a finish that is. That is filthy from Bruno Grameres. He needs to chill out, because he needs to remember that these guys have a family. Like, you can't be doing that. You can't be humiliating people like that. That was absolutely disgusting from Bruno Grameres. Absolutely disgusting. 4-1 to City. Gabriel Jesus has got himself a hat-trick as well. Good day at the office for Gabriel Jesus. Maybe just a nice little remembering thing of being like, you know, I'm still here. You've still got a striker. You've still got a striker. Norman's just gone down again here, holding his ankle. Now as a Burnley fan. Norman's just back onto his feet here for Norwich City. Some of these crisps, like some of them are really salty, and then some of them are like, Bruno, says Lewis. What a goal that is. What a goal that is from Bruno. Honestly. It was a lovely finish. What a performance from the lads. The most worrying thing is the fact that this has not been Newcastle at their best. Not even by a long shot. That was a thunderous free kick there from the edge of the box. Ooh. Yeah, it's Newcastle not even at their best. And that's almost more worrying from a neutral perspective for the rest of the season. That's almost more worrying that this team can get higher and move on further, because they've been absolutely fantastic. That's a brilliant free kick from Dowell there. He's so desperately unlucky. A brilliant save from Martin Dubravka as well, though. But they've been so good. So good. E-I-E-I-O, up the Premier League we go. Huddersfield have been singing that. Up the Football League we go. Good stuff. I'm nearly done with my crisps, and then I'll commentate a little bit better. Like I say, thank you for those who have stuck around whilst I went for my sandwich at half time. I just couldn't hold on any longer. Could not hold on any longer. Especially as it's nearly 4 o'clock and not having any lunch wouldn't have been a high priority of mine. But it's been a lovely game to watch, like I say, and of course to enjoy the sprint race as well whilst I ate my sandwich at half time as well was very much an enjoyable thing. Ooh. Joelinton there. He looks like he's causing trouble. He looks like he's causing chaos. Are we going to see an absolute beast in Joelinton next season? That is my question. Chat, let me know. Get in the chat. How many goals do you think Joelinton can score next season? How many goals do you reckon he can score? Are we reckoning double figures, or do we reckon that's too high for Joelinton next season? Because at the minute, especially with the way that Newcastle are playing, it looks like sky's the limit. Dylan's going with 9 goals next season. I tell you what, he might have a field day against Huddersfield. As a Norwich fan, I'm not surprised about this, and Huddersfield goal scorers both played for Norwich 2 years ago. Sam the ASMR Redgate-Large. I did think that when I did it, it sounded perfect. It did sound perfect. Huddersfield goal scorers. What, their goal scorers yesterday? Is that what you mean? 5-1 City. See, I told you, this was a much better game. This was a much better game for us to be watching. And afternoon to you, Connor. If you are new, mate, thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. You're not surprised about it. It was a good first 30 minutes for you boys. I'm not going to lie. It was a really, really good first 30 minutes for Norwich City today. And you looked like you were the better of the two sides. And it just got away from you. It was a momentary lapse, and all of a sudden, Willock is playing curved, yes. But it was a momentary lapse, and all of a sudden, you switched off, and Toffolo. He's such a good player, Harry Toffolo. I always read it as Toffolo and then go, oh no, I know how to pronounce it. It's Toffolo. But he's a fantastic player. Harry Toffolo. I think he's got 8 assists this season from left back. Phenomenal player. So thank you to Norwich for that one. Thank you to him for that. I haven't had to eat anything all day. Joe Linton will score 14 next season. Lewis has gone with 14. Interesting. We just don't have the quality this year in the squad, unfortunately. But we are a yo-yo club, says Connor. Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to... I think as well, part of it might be the fact that they... I hate to say it, but I feel like your owners are quite happy with you being the 24th best team, or in the top 24 best teams. You know what I mean? In England. And so as much as you want to get out of that, the parachute payments then help you come up, and you're very clever with the way that you use them so that you can guarantee yourselves to get back up. And just when you come back up, they just need to be a little bit more savvy with the signings that they make so that they can make that money count and sign players that are going to bring this squad on. Because I don't think there's been progress. There's been a lot of progress under Dean Smith, but before that there didn't look like there was much progress from the last time he came up and the last time he came up. And so it's always difficult when that happens, as Newcastle get a whip in another corner here. Punch clear, and Tim Krul there wasn't pleased with the defending. If we play how Eddie Howe has all season, hang on, let me read that again once it's off the screen. If we play like we have with Eddie Howe all season, we'll get in Europe. That's a big ask, though. That's a big ask, I must say. You've got to remember as well. Yes, on this form, you're absolutely flying. It's not always going to be like this. You know, I spoke about Joe Willock at the beginning of this season, saying, Newcastle fans, you just need to lower your expectation. He's not going to go and score 7 goals every single game. He's not going to go through that purple patch, and you need to be realistic for next season. That if you don't progress next season, that season is still a progression. Because you've got Leicester, who will be wanting that position. You've got West Ham, you've got Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United potentially as well. Spurs, don't forget about Spurs. So you've got 9 teams there, as well as yourselves, all fighting for Europa League. And, you know, you haven't beaten one of these. You've beaten Leicester and, of course, Wolves as well. So there's Leicester and Wolves still in there. So there's plenty of sides who will be going, we want European football aspirations next season. So you've just got to bear in mind that if you finish... Oh my God, Joelinton's absolutely full of it. What a strike that was. It was a good save from Tim Krul. But if you stay in the same position next season, that isn't necessarily a poor season. But in fact, to go, look, we finished... Say if you finish top half this season. We finished top half 2 seasons in a row. Then who knows? Who knows what we can achieve, and then that's what you can start bringing with players to next season. That's my one worry, that you guys will come in and you'll be like so excited, as you should be, that you're going to just fly up the table, but then all of a sudden, if you stay in the same position, that you'll be like, oh, this season was a failure. When I think actually, if you end up finishing between 9th and 11th next season and staying where you are, I still think that is a progressive season for you. I think that will still be a progressive season, very much to that. Fulham are winning, get in, come on. Let's see Bournemouth drop out of that automatic promotion spot. That would be nice. Lance says, Newcastle scoring for fun, mate. They've not got out of 4th gear. They've not got out of 4th gear, Lance, if I'm honest with you. I'm not even lying. It's just been easy. Like the first 30 minutes, Norwich were all over Newcastle United today and causing problems and looked like they were going to score. And then Norwich made one mistake, like they did last weekend with Manchester United, and they've opened the door, and now Norwich City have got a long second half coming, because Newcastle have got the tails up now and they've got the wind in their sails as well. Curve says Eddie has a new style of training and it's paying off. It most certainly is. Like I say, that upwards trend that they seem to be on at the moment is fantastic. They just need to, I don't know if you've got any sort of traditional top 6 sides coming up, but that will be a good justification, or a good, what's the phrase I'm looking for? A good match to see where you're at. Because obviously you lost 1-0 against Chelsea, which was a game where you should have had a penalty. and maybe should have been drawn against, but a Chelsea side that are all over the place. You lost 5-1 against the Tottenham side who were playing at their very, very best. So there's that to weigh up. There is that to weigh up. So for next season, European aspirations, absolutely have them. But if the European aspirations don't come off, then I wouldn't be worried about a 9th to 11th finish. I'm assuming that it'll go to about 8th or even 8th to 11th finish. I still think that will be progression for Newcastle United, because then you can start to say, look, like I say, we've had 2 seasons here where we finished in the top 10. This season, we're going to go even further and further and further. Connor says, I can hear the fans booing from my house and the Newcastle fans singing. God, that must be awful. That must be awful. I tried to, because I'm in Huddersfield, I tried to open my window yesterday to see if I could hear the fans chanting. I'm just a little bit too far away, unfortunately. St. Max rolls it into Matty Target. Oh, he tried to pull that one back there, looking for Joe Linton, and safely into the hands of Tim Krul that time. I'm going to get onto Lance's comment in a second. Lacazette to Newcastle next season. I think he wants Champions League football. So in terms of a long-term perspective, I'm sure Newcastle could be. But unfortunately, Lacazette isn't really a long-term fix. And I don't think, to be honest with you, I'd stick with Joelinton over. If you're going to have a striker who doesn't really score the most amount of goals, you might as well have Joelinton, who is got that bit of Brazilian samba style about him, that little bit of flair, and also a player as well that can play in multiple positions. So I think that's quite important for Newcastle United. So I don't even think Lacazette to Newcastle would be the greatest of signings. That has just reminded me, Connor, I know obviously I think you are new to the SRL channel. If you are and you haven't checked out yesterday's video, I go through the first set of teams as Timu Pukki manages to get him behind here, hold that thought, and he rolls it in. Oh, is that going to get its way through? Not quite there for Norwich City, but I go through and name one transfer for the first, first 10, sorry, if I can half 20, that would be helpful. First 10 teams in the Premier League, and I talk about them and where players should go, who should sign what, and then next Friday we're going to have the second part of that. I'm shooting that tomorrow for you guys. Lance says, Man City play the most boring football in the Premier League, quietest in the Etihad. I'm watching Bournemouth versus Fulham. Bournemouth versus Fulham will be a good game. Plenty of action there, and of course both teams, I think, am I right in saying that Bournemouth still have the opportunity to win the Championship if they win today? An outside chance. An outside chance of winning the Championship, but of course they will need to beat Fulham today, and apparently Fulham are winning, which bodes well for Huddersfield, who will still be with an outside chance, of course, of that second place spot as well. But I know that there has been quite a few reviews. I went to Manchester City this season as well for the Champions League game against Sporting, the second one, the second leg. Of course, Manchester City versus Sporting in that second leg probably wasn't the greatest of games to admire the crowd from. I'm sure they were a lot louder against Liverpool and Manchester United, but from experience and from Josh AVFTS, who went the other day, he had a very similar thing. And I think the problem for City is it's nothing wrong with their fans. I think at the moment they don't have enough hardcore fans, and so it's very much still a tourist attraction, almost like come and see all the best players, blah de blah, all playing on one pitch. And I think that can be the problem for Manchester City. That's a lovely ball, and Timu Pukki finds his way through. Oh, what a save that is from Dubravka! A lovely save from Dubravka there. What a save that is. There's a lovely ball played through. I've just noticed Norwich have made a substitution. Unsure of the young man's name, who has come on. Made in the 58th minute. How long ago was that? Oh, not too long ago. I noticed that Aaron's had come on, but I forgot to comment on that. And then Jonathan Rowe has also come on up front for Norman. So a shift in formation there as Lees Malou will move a little bit further back for Norwich City. Let's have a look what everyone else says. Lewis says we're getting Tony, so say we're getting Tony because we are. I mean, he looks like he's not happy at Brentford, doesn't he? He does look like he's not happy at Brentford, and maybe that would be an option for him. He's definitely a talented player. Who did you have? Did you used to have Ivan Toney, or have I got that wrong? Have I got that wrong? I feel like I've got that wrong. I feel like he used to... There's someone who used to play for Newcastle. This is going to sound so stupid, and I'm aware. Newcastle actually had Tony. Thank you, Fraser. Thank you. That was driving me crazy for a second there. That was driving me crazy. Let's have a look. Dylan says Burnley-Plymouth would be a great match. If you say so, Dylan. If you say so, lads. Sammy was right. Thank you, Fraser. That was driving me crazy for a second there because I couldn't remember who it was as we watched all three of Newcastle United's goals once again. Lance says, imagine if Luton get through playoffs and go to the PL. I'd love to see more championship sides in the PL. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you've got, the way you look at it is, it'd be nice to have some fresh teams in. But whereas I have this bias, of course, with me living in Huddersfield, how awesome would it be to have Huddersfield in the Premier League on your doorstep? As someone who's not from Huddersfield, not with a Yorkshire accent, as I'm sure you can tell, just goes completely Yorkshire. Hey up! But as you can tell, for me, it's nice to have a football side that are doing well, and being able to go and see that on your doorstep is something that is absolutely fantastic. Because, of course, for me, growing up, really all you saw on football to a long sort of, for more than 15 minutes on your telly, was the big sides, was the Premier League sides. And so if some of the teams that, like Hull, weren't in the Premier League, because I'm from Lincolnshire, so Hull was the closest Premier League side, so I'd always look at them, I'd always support them, if you will, when they were in the Premier League. But I always used to, the reason I support Chelsea is because they were always on the telly. And that was one of the things for me. It was one of those things. And, having Huddersfield here and having them with the opportunity to go in the Premier League once again, now that I've been here for 4 years, love the club, bottom six budget, in the top six of the Championship as well. It's fantastic what they're doing with their money. I'm not overly optimistic of what they could do next season if they do go up, but we will cross that. We'll cross that river when we get to it. Tony might be a good fit for West Ham. Now that would be a good shout. It's just whether would there be question marks about the level that he can play at the moment. If you are wondering, it is still 3-0. Just the ball's just being played around at the moment, just through the centre of the park. No really clear-cut opportunities, and I'm enjoying you guys with the chat as well. Arsenal beat United. They most certainly did, Bailey. Lovely to have you in, mate. Lovely to have you in. But yeah, Tony could be a good fit. He could be a good fit. Mikel Antonio, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed, won't he, with this season? When you look at the way he started so far this season, it was really, really good, wasn't it? The way that he started, he was full of confidence, scoring goals, and he's just kind of dried up a little bit. And maybe Ivan Toney would be a good penalty taker as well, Ivan Toney. Maybe he could be a player just to bring on West Ham to that next level. Is he 30, Antonio? That is pretty mental. Everton getting relegated will be sad, even though I'm not an Everton fan. I find this really difficult because I appreciate where some Liverpool fans are coming from. But for a side that I grew up watching in the top six of the Premier League in sort of the late 2000s into 2010, it's a really weird one to sit and look at with Everton. I understand that they've not spent their money wisely, and that should eventually that will always come back to bite you on the backside, and in that sense they deserve it. If they've spent their money poorly, they keep chucking the money about, and they're just not recruiting well, then absolutely it's going to be sad to see them go down because of what could have been with the club. But it's one of those things. Who knows? They might do a West Ham. If you remember 2 seasons ago, West Ham finished, was it 17th, just scraping their way through into the Premier League, and then went on the next season to finish 9th as well. Nick Pope would be good for Newcastle. I think, I could see that. If they go down as well. Some of these Burnley players who we know are Premier League proven, for the likes of Newcastle and maybe some of the lower end sides. Lower end, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but lower end in terms of the league. Is Miggy Almer on there? Nearly puts himself into a little bit of pressure. But for some of these sides that maybe just need an assured head in that side, it could be very, very much a a useful thing to have. A useful thing to have is the best way to say it. As Alan St. Max there goes down with a little bit of a knock. A little bit of a knock there for Alan St. Max. Just realised I didn't have the commentary on this whole time. I'm a madman. Josh Brownhill to Villa. I think that club's going to be pulled apart, Burnley. There's too much talent, individual talent. There's too much talent in there. Maxwell Cornet will probably go back to France. You know, the man was pulling apart Manchester City in the Champions League. He's too good to spend a season next season. And if he does spend that season next season, it's going to be so good. Jesus has gone sicko mode. He's very happy that he's decided that last weekend was a different Jesus's time to shine, and now it's his time to shine this weekend, I think is what he's going for. Fraser says he's wondering how Antonio got in the nominations for EA Sports. I'm assuming that is for Team of the Season, and the reason I think some of these players get in is because they're not allowed Chelsea players in. I'm not saying Timo Werner or Lukaku would have got in. I'd say that, to be fair, over the course of the season, Havertz has probably been better than him, but I think that might be the reason, because they have suspended, is it the licence with Chelsea? So the players that are still there, and they can be in packs, but they won't do any special cards related to Chelsea whilst Chelsea are frozen. So I think that might be an influence on that one. Weghorst and Cornet in the Championship, up the claret, says Dylan. It would be brilliant to see, wouldn't it? It would be. I'd love to. Wout Weghorst would have the time of his life. Wout Weghorst would. He would be absolutely fantastic. What a ball that is from Pookie. Oh, the touch from Max Aarons there. Poor touch there from Max Aarons. Jacob Murphy gets himself back in the way. I'm buzzing because Plymouth Argyle beating top of the league. Good stuff, Max. Gallagher is a Chelsea player. No Chelsea player in it. Gallagher doesn't count. That's why Gallagher does not count, because he's at Crystal Palace. That's a great ball from St. Max. Tries to ping one out wide, and that's really well played there by Byron. I must say, he's come across nicely for Norwich City. Defensively, he's done really well. Yeah, I guess technically, and I'm sure we'll see Tomori in the Serie A one. Former Chelsea player as well, and Tammy Abraham, of course, as well. Be nice to see, but it's just a little bit like I've got no incentive to play FIFA this year. Like last year, I had the incentive because I wanted Team of the Season mount, but I've not got that incentive. Timu Pukki tries to get the ball down in the box, nearly trapped the ball underneath him there, and that's just given away there, a foul on Bruno Grameres, who got his body in the way. Can I remind you guys, if you haven't already, do be sure to smash that like button for us, and do hit subscribe as well if you are new to the SRL channel. We're going to try and hit 1,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is September, so I'm going to need all the help I can get from you guys. And of course, don't be surprised if this channel does change name in the course of the coming weeks. Like I say, we will be going through a little bit of a rebrand and a restructure, where we will take into account the fact that I want to branch out and do a few more sports, and we'll have an F1 show every Thursday night discussing the events of the previous week and the upcoming week, as well as keeping these watch-alongs going, so you guys can still get your weekly watch-alongs as well. So that is where we're going to be transitioning into, and then we'll have a video and 2 watch-alongs, and then of course the Thursday night which will be hosted by Louis. Louis will be hosting it. I will be joining him, but it'll be led by Louis, because Louis is much more the Formula 1 expert. But if you do enjoy that, it would be absolutely excellent. And of course, stick around, guys, because we will have some fantastic content coming your way in the future. Let's have a look then, guys. How many likes are we on? Wow, we've gained, in this stream, we've gained 6 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed here. So thank you. And we have also 1 like off that 15 like goal, which is absolutely fantastic. Big switch there. Matt Target manages to... Matt Target? Is that Matt Target? No, it's Emil Kraft. Why did Matt Target come into my head? The wrong side of the pitch there. Wrong side of the pitch is... Norwich somehow retain possession and move the ball forward. Here's Bruno. Bruno rolls it into a little bit of space. Here's Matt Ritchie, who's just come on. Maybe that's why I said it. Maybe I thought it was Matt Ritchie and then thought, no, Matt Ritchie isn't on. I don't know. I'm driving myself crazy, ladies and gents. Driving myself crazy. Don't forget as well, guys, tomorrow we do have Chelsea versus West Ham in the London derby. We'll be live from about, I think we're going with, was it 1:45? 1:45 I was going with? I can't remember. Let's have a look on the channel, ladies and gents. Let's have a look on the channel. I think it's 1:45, the channel time, which we are going live tomorrow. So do be sure to stick around and check it out as well. I will be slightly distracted though because there will be an F1 race going on at the same time, unfortunately. I was absolutely torn apart trying to decide whether to do Chelsea, but I've got a nice little Chelsea following starting to come on this channel as a Chelsea fan myself. Matt Ritchie switches the play there. Here's Alan St. Max. He just gets in the way. Sorry, not Alan St. Max. It was he's just come off the pitch. Why did I say that? Joe Willock just got in the way there of Miggy Almiron. Here is Almiron, who scored that worldie the other day. Did that sound good? I would say that it's been an improved performance in the last few moments for Norwich City, but I think it's more that Newcastle have eased off. They've eased off the gas. They've not completely eased off the gas. Sorry, Alan St. Max hasn't come off. It was Joe Linton who came off. I'm so stupid sometimes. But yes, what I was going to say was, I wouldn't say that like Newcastle have eased off the gas. They've not had any need to. They've not had the need to keep it at that high tempo. And of course, Eddie Howe has made a few changes today and downgraded tools, and they're still 3-0 up. As Almiron rolls that one into Joe Willock. Here is Joe Willock. Good sharp save there from Tim Krul. Good sharp save. Chelsea will beat the Hammers. Gotta hope so, Curved. Gotta hope so. I hope so. How are you feeling as well about your bet with Mohamed Salah? Do you think it's in the bag? Or do you not want to say? Do you not want to count your chickens? Norwich are done. I've got to say, I think Norwich are going down, unfortunately. I really do. I really do. Since, the thing is as well, you look at it, since Newcastle United went on this fantastic run post-January. January? How do you say it? January. What did I say? Okay. Post-January. No! Post-January. Got it. Post-January. Post the last transfer window. Post the last transfer window, since Newcastle have been on that run, it looked very much like, before that, it looked very much like, you know, there'd be sort of 3 or 4 teams, maybe even 5, maybe even 6 with Brentford, kicking around at the bottom. So now it's just Everton and Burnley who are the 2 sides that potentially could go down. And so you've got to feel now that Norwich, especially with the amount of points that are between Leeds and Everton, you've got to feel that even if somehow they go on a minor miracle of a run and they do really well, you've got to feel like they're going to go down. But that's a lovely ball there from Baker to find Pookie. Pookie should have got a touch there first time, and he's just taken himself a bit wide again there, Timu Pookie. Second time he's done that this game, and he's given the ball away there. Yeah, the bet is won now, says Curved. He's confident. He's confident. I did. Me and Curly were actually talking the other day about you, Curved, and we were just saying, like, it was when Son was on 17 and Salah was on 20, and he hadn't scored in a little while. We were thinking, oh God, he better not bottle it now for Curved. But he looks like he's found that little bit of form once again. Definitely looks like he's found that little bit of form once again. Weird how my sub thing doesn't update in the bottom corner, unless you subscribe and you have public subscribers on. Then it will update it, which is very, very strange. Click this. I wasted 100 quid back in Chelsea though. I do apologise. There's not much I can do, but I do apologise, Curved. To be honest, I didn't think we'd be near the title this season. I thought we'd be 3rd. To be honest, I thought Liverpool and City were too strong. That being said, I'm gonna look like a fool if I actually predicted them to win it. But I don't think I did. I'm trying to cast my mind back. I did a live stream with Dan Ben in August stating what I thought was going to happen this season. Be interesting to see where we are in terms of correct predictions. Max. Oh, Max. I mean, I think a lot of people predicted. I mean, I can't say that. I can't remember who I predicted to be in that top 3 at the moment. But I think a lot of people predicted Manchester United to be doing better. We did not think that Newcastle, like the two out of Manchester United and Newcastle United, we didn't think that they would be the team that would had a better season out of the two of them. If United carry on, they're going to be looking down the barrel of Newcastle United as well, because Newcastle has proven today they can just cruise to wins against these bottom half sides now. Manchester United can't. They most certainly can't. I thought Tuchel was better than he actually is. Chelsea are a cup side. I'm saying that again. Chelsea are a cup side. It's simple as we're good in a cup. We're good in a cup run, but over the course of a season, Thomas Tuchel's tinkering, constant moving of players, it's just not good for a team. It's really not good for a team. Even, like, look at this Newcastle side, okay? Yes, they've made changes today, and they've made changes to save some players, but the core of this team is pretty much very similar to what they've had over the last few weeks. The brilliance that we've seen from Newcastle has all been over the same core, and Thomas Tuchel will change centre-halves, centre-mid, strikers, week in, week out. And if he's going to progress in the Premier League and get Chelsea to go a long distance, then he needs to find that core of players that he prefers. We know he prefers Thiago Silva, but then why did he drop him against Arsenal? Honestly, it's those questions that I ask of Thomas Tuchel, and I think, why have you done that? Why have you done that? Like, you look at every other side and they have a nice core of players, and that is what builds a good team. And it's obviously great that Chelsea can have the opportunity and the ability to chop and change, and clearly in the cups it's helped. You know, I don't think we would have done so well in the Champions League last season nor this season if we didn't have those changes. But in the Premier League it just doesn't work. You need to be able to fire consistently. And yes, teams might suss you out occasionally, but you need to know where your goals are coming from. Reece James cannot be your second top goal scorer behind Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's had a poor season for Mason Mount. His goal outputs have been great, his assist outputs have been great, but he's just not been the player that we've seen over the last couple of seasons. He's just not quite been at that extra level, and he's still top goal scorer, and you're thinking, what have you got to do? What have you got to do, Ed? What have you got to do? Well, that's enough Chelsea talk for now. I predicted top 4 was first Man City, second Liverpool, third Man United, fourth Chelsea. I don't know where I predicted Chelsea. I'm going to have to look now. I'm going to have to do my own work. You guys have got me rattled. Let's scroll all the way down to... Where are we? My Premier League prediction this season. Let's have a look. Well, I can already tell I've got quite a few wrong. I've put Brentford rock bottom. I'm just going to skip through a load of these and see if I can find who I put in the top 4. As Max Aarons goes down the right-hand side here. He's just being tracked by Almiron. Leeds in 9th. That was a bold prediction, wasn't it? I actually put Newcastle in 15th. I think Newcastle fans would have taken that. But Brighton in 17th. Let's have a look. What did I go for? I can't find it. Here goes St. Max. Lovely run from St. Max. Cuts in. Ronaldo chop. Rolls it over. Oh. Joe Willock there. Just at the final moment. Just lost the ball right at the final moment there from Joe Willock. I'm trying to find it. My list is... This was my list from last summer for the top 10 at least. Predicting Newcastle 15th and I think it was Norwich 18th. But I had Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, Spurs, Aston Villa, Arsenal. I did Arsenal an injustice, didn't I? I did Arsenal an injustice there. Leeds United, then West Ham in 10th. I did them an injustice as well. I don't think I've got any correct this year other than Chelsea. Ironic, really, how I got my own team right. Well, at the moment, anyway. But did I just see Fraser's live twice? Fraser, how are you live twice? I didn't know you could do that. That is impressive. That is impressive. Thank you to whoever has just subscribed to the SRL channel. And we've hit 15 likes as well, so that's absolutely fantastic. We've got about 5 minutes left to go here. I put Villa really... I think everyone put Villa really high. I think Villa have been... Like, it's not been a bad season for Aston Villa, don't get me wrong, but I think everyone thought Aston Villa this season were going to push, and they've just not. They've just not. Here comes Dwight Gale and Bruno Grameres. His job is done. And what a filthy goal that was from Bruno. What a filthy finish that was to make it 3-0. From there on in, they've never been in doubt, has it? Never been in doubt for Newcastle from there on in. Brazil for the World Cup, says Curved. I don't know for World Cup. I don't know. That's the problem. Depends what Lionel Messi turns up. Depends what Cristiano Ronaldo turns up. I'm assuming Portugal are going. I can't quite remember what happened from the World Cup qualifiers. Anyway, if we've had the finals of those, I can't quite remember off the top of my head. God, my head's going. Too much football knowledge. Too much football knowledge all scattered about everywhere. I don't think England will get to a final. I think England are going to be knocked out in the quarters. Go back to our normal ways. Maybe a pessimistic England fan there. As I am at the beginning of everything, I never quite believe it's coming home, and then one person scores, Trippier or Luke Shaw score, and I'm like, oh my god, it's coming home, and then it just doesn't. I don't know. Brazil sounds like a good shout. Brazil does sound like a good shout. Newcastle fans at the beginning of the season not knowing what was about to happen to their club. Yeah, they're almost in that their beginning of the season was almost the same as what Chelsea would be beginning of next season, really. Chelsea not really knowing. We could have Lewis Hamilton as a part of a consortium of our owners. Lewis Hamilton and Serena Williams looking to join a consortium of owners. It's going to be a really strange time for Chelsea. Hopefully, whoever it is who is the owner realises the expectations that are put forward for Chelsea fans, and how much they will want to how much they will want Chelsea fans will want a similar style of the club being ran, in terms of the output, not trying to take money, not trying to make money, and I think a lot of those guys know it's not going to be about making money. It's about being a part of something that is great, and that's what Lewis Hamilton said. Despite being an Arsenal fan, is Baker on the edge of the box, who's tried to find Gian Lewis. That's a good ball there into Timu Pukki. Can he wriggle free now, Timu Pukki? And can Norwich actually get themselves a goal? God, that stand now is absolutely empty. Oh, that was a good ball in as well from Norwich City. A lovely ball in towards that back post. I think it was Max Aaron's arriving there, and he's appealing to the referee. The referee's not gone to VAR whatsoever. Another ball in there from Norwich City. Norwich, it's going to be a consolation most definitely if it goes in, as Joe Willock. There's too many J's, man! Is that just something, you go to Newcastle, you have to have your name beginning with J, like Joelinton, Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, John Joe Shelby? It just must be a thing. Just must be a thing. You watching the Fury versus White fight tonight? I might do. I quite... The thing is, for me, I like watching the big fights. Like, I don't, obviously... I'm not overly much of a boxing fan, but I like watching the bigger fights, and I know that makes me sound like a plastic fan, but I do like watching the bigger fights, and of course I love watching the YouTube boxing fights because there's such a shambles, Lance. They are such a shambles. But I might give it a go. I think it's on BT anyway, and I've got BT, so I might as well. I think I'm going to chill out tonight, play F1 2021 on my Xbox, and chill out and have a good time. Maybe have a beer as well, why not? I had Villa 9th and Leeds 8th. I know, I think we all called Villa and Leeds wrong. Excuse me. To be fair, I don't think I'm too annoyed at my Newcastle prediction. 15th, like, don't get me, they still could finish 15th, but I don't think I'm too annoyed at that. I think as I think I was quite aware that Newcastle were going to get this takeover, or it looked imminent. And so 15th, I think that's a respectable prediction. And I think if you are a Newcastle fan and you are listening, I think you'd have taken 15th. I think you would have taken 15th. It's cost 25 quid to watch the fight. I mean, that's what they say, Oliver, isn't it? That's what they say. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this game then, ladies and gents. 3 minutes of added time. I don't know how this has just dawned on me, but Max, did you message me on Xbox last night? Have I just remembered that randomly? What are the scores at the other games? Let's have a look. I feel like we've not seen anything from Leicester and Aston Villa. I have called these 3 games absolutely perfectly. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but hear me out. I said Leicester City versus Aston Villa, that is going to be mid-table mediocrity. It is currently 90 plus 2, and it's 0-0. And I was like, we're not going to get any goals in that game. I then said I didn't want to watch Manchester City because I knew that they would thump. Oh my God, that deflection there nearly caught Tim Krul off guard. He's done very well there to save that one from the strike from Joelinton. I did it again! Joe Willock! I keep doing that again. And then I said City, don't want to watch City because it's just going to be them battering Watford. And then I said this one would be a good game because it'd be quite competitive. It was in the first half, and then Newcastle just eased away. Did you have a run recently, Sam? Yes, I went for a run this morning, curved actually. Let me check my Strava. If you do have Strava and you want to keep up with whatever I'm doing, you can just search for my name and I will come up. But I went for about, I think I went 10k today, curved, just because I needed to get some miles in the legs. And unfortunately, I had a bit of a tweak in my calf the other day, which was a little bit painful. It was after the gym. I did chest at the gym, and I was walking back up because I'm at the top of my flat is at the top of this building. Not like it's a penthouse. I mean, it technically is, but not like it's a big expensive flat. But it's at the top of this building, and as I was going up, I could just feel this little tweak in my leg, and so that was Thursday. So I gave Friday off, and I thought I'll go for a bit of a 10k. Wanted to go maybe for 10 miles, but wasn't really achievable. Can Norwich get themselves further up the pitch here? Where do I live? I live in Huddersfield, Lance. At the moment, Huddersfield in West Yorkshire. Oh, Norwich there nearly got themselves an opportunity. Bay, he's really annoyed at himself there. Really annoyed at himself. But that is full time, ladies and gents. That is full time. I'm just trying to find my run thing now because it's not updated to Strava, so I'll get that sorted out once I am done. But that is full time, ladies and gents. Newcastle United 3, Norwich City 0, and it was a matter of the Brazilians, wasn't it? The Brazilians fire Newcastle United to a 3-0 win. An excellent goal from Joelinton, a great goal from Bruno as well. 2 fantastic goals. I'll check that message then. Sorry about that, Max. I was deep in Formula 1 yesterday. But 2 fantastic goals in this game. The first one, if you're going to watch Match of the Day tonight, the first one from Joelinton, excellent finish. A really good finish from Joelinton, and then the finish from Bruno. Wow. I wasn't overly convinced on the signing of Bruno when I first heard about him, but it was such a good finish. The composure he showed there, like the ball falls to him, he just clips it over, and it was a lovely finish. What a finish that was from Joelinton, from Bruno. I keep getting, why is Joelinton in my head today, man? Why is Joelinton? I mean, he deserves to be in my head after 2 goals today. Brilliant performance from Joelinton, a great performance from Newcastle, especially from about 30 minutes onwards. Like I say, I think Norwich will be a little bit annoyed at themselves, really, because from that first half, the first sort of 30 minutes or so, if you will, from that first half, I think Norwich were the better of the 2 sides, and I don't think I'm being overly
I don't think there's a hot take or anything like that. I don't think that's a hot take whatsoever. Norwich were good in that first 30 minutes, even up until just before the Newcastle United goal. And then the same problems that they suffered against Manchester United occurred today. And this is against a Newcastle side that is full of confidence. You cannot make mistakes at this level against sides that are that full of confidence that frequently. Because Norwich have been the catalysts of their own downfall. I love that phrase on this channel, the catalysts of their own downfall. They have most certainly been. And it's been very easy as a result for Newcastle. I said in the first half, Newcastle haven't got out of third gear. They didn't need to get out of fourth gear the whole game. They stepped it up. Obviously, we've had moments of class from Joelinton and Bruno Grameres as well. Two fantastic, fantastic goals. But Norwich, it's a very, very questionable Norwich City side. And like I said, I just think there's not quite the ambition at Norwich City to really get themselves out. They're very clever with the parachute payments. They're very clever with those. And I think they're happy with where they are. But as a football fan, you've got to sit there and go, God, this is boring. This is boring now. We joke, don't we, about Fulham and Norwich. And I think Fulham definitely look to try and push themselves up. But Norwich, they just seem to be happy with being the 24th best team, or the top, maybe even the 21st best team in the league. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It is one of those things. They are a yo-yo. That's the thing. That is the thing. And I hate using that phrase because it sounds slanderous and it doesn't sound nice to call them a yo-yo club, because I think their fans deserve more than that. They definitely deserve more than that. But it's the sad truth at the moment. It is the sad truth at the moment, and they just need to invest better next time they come up, and they maybe need to try and pick, if they can pick some of those Burnley players, maybe not some of the bigger ones, but any of the ones that are Premier League proven. There's a lot of that squad that are going down now. That, you sit there and you think, if they were in this Norwich side, they could improve it vastly. Like, they've got Todd Cantwell to come back, who, of course, is on loan at Bournemouth this season. And you've just got to wonder, where is this talent going to come from? Because the reason why I'm a little bit pessimistic with Huddersfield Town going up is you look at the other sides, excluding Luton, you look at the other sides that are going up, they've got Premier League quality, or players that look like they could be Premier League quality players. And you ask the question, therefore, of Norwich City, which of these players are Premier League proven? Teemu Pukki, we'll give him it. Teemu Pukki, very Premier League proven. Billy Gilmour, to me, is a player that this season went to the wrong club on loan. People were expecting him to be able to carry this Norwich City side on his back. And that's not what Billy Gilmour is. He's a player who picks up the ball in midfield and distributes the ball well. He plays well in a midfield where a lot of people are doing the scrapping and fighting hard. Of course you were, real Tom. You're a Newcastle fan. But that's the problem. You look at Billy Gilmour. Was that the right signing for Norwich? Definitely not. It wasn't the correct signing for Norwich. And I said about recruitment. Their recruitment needs to be better next time they come up. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't been as bad as Fulham when they spent 100 million. When they spent 100 million and came straight back down. But the recruitment has to be better if Norwich want to stop being this yo-yo club. And I think the yo-yo club almost mentality comes right from the top. And the fact that the owners are quite happy. They are quite happy just to be the 24th best team or the 23rd best team in the league. And Bournemouth have scored. Oh, God. Not what I wanted to be hearing. And that's what I think about Norwich. I just think they're happy to not to just be a yo-yo club. And it's so unfortunate for the fans. So unfortunate for the fans. That being said, the positives. Let's look at the positives for today. Newcastle United, 2 brilliant goals, like I say. Joe Linton looks good. He looks full of confidence, which is great to see. We love to see players full of confidence. I hate it. Even if they're not Chelsea players or players that I particularly like, hate seeing players not full of confidence because, you know, everyone deserves to be confident. Everyone deserves to be confident. And, you know, Newcastle today look brilliant. Joe Linton looks like he's starting to find that form. He's got a manager that believes in him and a manager that believes in this team. And that's the important thing. If they're going to strive forward, Newcastle United this next season, they need a manager who's going to believe in them, and they've got that. And who knows where? I think sky's the limit next season. I think sky is the limit to a certain degree. Of course, it depends on that summer transfer window. Still think they need a few more just medium-sized upgrades before they can start going headlong into these world-class players. They've done very well with Bruno and, of course, Kieran Trippier as well. But I wouldn't at this moment say either of those two are world class. I'd say Trippier probably the closer of the two, but I wouldn't say he's world class. He's not the best English right back, let alone a world class right back. That being said, England do have probably 3 of the best right backs in the world right now in Trent, Kyle Walker and and Reece James. But I just think Newcastle, they need to be clever with the way that they sign these. Look, they've signed Dan Burn, good short-term fix. Bring in another centre-half. If they can sign another centre-half to partner with Dan Burn for the next season, that'll be a good looking point. You look at Dubravka, he'll be there for a couple more seasons, I imagine. He's a good quality. Then you look in the midfield, you've got Bruno. You need someone in there with Bruno and Chris Wood. Again, a short-term signing, but maybe you need someone in there who's just going to be able to move that one up. Of course, they were looking at Botman at centre-half, and they were looking at I can't remember, his name's gone from my head. They were looking at a young lad up front as well in January. So that Newcastle, they're definitely going about it the right way. I think they need to invest in their youth system as well, promote some of those players so that they get the benefits that Chelsea and to some degree Manchester City is starting to feel now with those players, those world-class players coming through their squad as well, and not just buying from elsewhere, import, because if we're creating all these fantastic players, you know, we look at your Mounts, your Fodens, your Reece Jameses, even to some degree your Ruben Loftus-Cheek, these players who've been made homegrown, then there'll be a lot less stigma around this takeover, and I think that's massively important. Newcastle don't want to rub people up the wrong way. But I'm going to leave you guys there. It's been 2.5 hours of streaming. We've had an F1 race in the whole time of this, so it's been an exciting stream. Thank you to those who have watched today and who have supported the channel. We're up to, how many subscribers have we got ourselves up to? Let me have a look. We were on 665 at the beginning. We are currently on 672, so thank you to the 7 people who've decided to smash that red subscribe button for us. I really do appreciate it, and if you haven't smashed that like button for us as well during this time, do be sure to smash that like button if you have enjoyed this stream. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do Chelsea versus West Ham, just for real Tom's sake, just in case if he wants to stream the same one. Don't want to have a crossover there. We don't want to have a crossover there. Don't want to take away from Tom's stream, but yeah. We're going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Chelsea match then. I will see you tomorrow. And final thing before I go, I promise this is the final thing. If you haven't watched that video from yesterday, we teased it at half-time. By teased it, you watched quite a lot of it at half-time, but if you haven't watched it all, go over there and make sure to drop it some love. That would be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, it's just not had the views that I was quite hoping for. But if you could, that would be absolutely excellent. So, I will see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you for watching. And as always, guys, most importantly, stay safe. Cheers!